Backlog. All right, guys, how you doing, man?
Good. Good to be
Good.
here.
How about you?
Good. A little bit tired, but I'm getting there. Could have used some caffeine. That's my one regret in life.
I mean, if the technology existed, I could send you some, but
If
that's
it did.
that's Internet 3.0.
Wait, what are we on right now? Are we on 2.0? I thought we were
Nah,
on
man.
3.0.
We're barely out of the beta.
Oh, we're okay.
Maybe like 1.9.
Oh, really? Okay.
So if you know anything about like kind of like
I
the
don't.
phases of like the web, technically we're in web 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
I think, which is called like the semantic web, I want to say. But yeah, like the problem with like development of stuff like this is no one can really decide what they want like the next thing to be. So like there never is a next thing until like one thing is popular enough for everyone to do it. But yeah, supposedly there's ideas all the way up to Web 4.0, which is basically just like persistent metaverse, like Ready Player One.
Right.
But like, will we ever get there? Who the hell knows? You know what I mean?
I mean, the Zuck seems to think we're gonna get there.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the Oculus Rift is cheap and more people are buying them. But call me when there's actual good AAA games with good graphics.
Oh shit! Shots fired.
Because I watched the Upload VR showcase and it felt like I was like either gaming on mobile or like back in fucking the PS2 era. Well, maybe the 360 era, but the graphics were looking a bit sus.
Sounds like a good time to me. I mean,
don't get me wrong, it's probably fun, but like there was a game that came out, I can't remember what it was called, but it basically looked like a Doom clone. And like when I say it looked like a Doom clone, I mean it played like a Doom clone. I mean no, it looked like a Doom clone. And I'm like, this is modern hardware, huh? Okay. Touche.
This is the future. The future is a Windows 95.
The future is years ago.
Yeah, the future. We already hit the future, guys. I'm sorry.
We have to go back before we go forward.
Yep.
Where we're going, we don't need 4K.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's why we only stream in 720.
Facts.
Because it's the future. That's why.
Yep.
Not
standard definition master race.
Not because of the bit rate. Not at all. So, Afternoon Tune. Would you prefer to be called Afternoon Tune or Josh?
Yeah, you just call me Josh. That's fine. Afternoon Tune is the podcast I do.
Right.
Yeah, every Friday, every Saturday. Yeah.
All right. So just starting out. So every episode or so, we started the podcast by going over our weeks, and being our guest, do you want to do us the honor of going first?
Sure, I can do that. So this week, did a podcast this Friday, this Saturday. This past Friday, we did a review of Jurassic World Dominion. We did a review of that. It's Marvel, episode 1. We did that review of that. Kenobi as well, episode, I think it was, 4. And then The Boys, episode 4. We did reviews for that. And then this past Saturday, we did a review for the first Jurassic Park movie. As well, we did our best of the year so far. So we did that.
That's cool.
I'm loving The Boys so far. So any insights you can give on how you feel about that, I'd love to hear.
Yeah, The Boys, I think, is one of the better shows on TV right now. I think it's 100%
great. Agree. I'd argue to say it is the best thing on TV right now. Oh, I got a visitor.
Yeah.
That's a strong statement. So, I mean, did you have anything else you wanted to add to your week? Whenever you're, you can keep going, man. It doesn't necessarily have to be podcast stuff. It can, just be.
I mean, life-wise, this week, it was pretty good. Just I do the regular grind like most people. I don't do, the content creation full time. So, I have to go to work and try to fit in, working out as much as I can. Try to fit in that. Try to fit in, other, regular kind of life stuff, dating stuff. All that good human people stuff that humans do. So yeah, human. Do human stuff. So. It's pretty uneventful, really. I think my week,
All right. August, you want to tell us about your week?
Yeah. So same old, same old. Can you stay in one spot? Um. Let's see. Yeah. Work, school, all that good stuff. Doing the daily grind, all those activities. But also just keeping track of the news. There's been a lot of really cool gaming news over the past 2 weeks. You had State of Play the week before.
Mhm.
You had Summer's Games Fest this week. A lot of cool new stuff was announced. They talked about like Street Fighter 6. People got to see gameplay. People got to play it.
Yep.
That was really cool. Hearing all the news about that. Um, let's see. Also caught up on The Boys. Watched episode 4. It was great. I think it's probably the best thing on TV right now. Watched a couple of the previews for new shows that are coming out. Cautiously excited about some of those. They had like a teaser trailer for like the Netflix One Piece show, which I'm like,
Oh
it's Netflix
boy.
and it's an anime adaptation, so
Oh
like
man.
it'll probably be bad, but they suck me in every time. So I mean, I'll still probably
A
check it
lot of
out.
people are defending that though right
Yeah.
now.
I mean, they have to get one right eventually, right? Law of averages. But yeah, no. There's a lot of stuff that just looks cool. That's in the pipeline. The new I think Supermassive or Super Giant game. I can't remember the name. The Corey just came out. They're the same people that made Until Dawn.
Yeah.
And like the Dark Pictures games. So all the streamers have been playing that. It looks awesome. I'll probably get it myself at one point, just do a co-op playthrough with whoever's down to play it. But no, it's been a pretty awesome week for both kind of gaming and TV and film media. So yeah, pretty much just keeping an eye out for what's in the pipeline and enjoying what's already there.
That's cool, man. So for my week, I started off the week with a little movie called Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Okay.
I was there. Oh God,
And
barely.
I figured, I could bring this up because everybody here has seen the movie. And I'm curious to what you actually have to say about it, Josh.
Mm.
Because we
Oh, you
didn't
want to?
we didn't like it. Like we thought. I mean,
Oh,
I personally didn't enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
To the
The,
point
the end
where
was the best part.
I I don't think it's bad. I'm very conflicted. Like I think, how do I put this? I think that the movie is so incredibly mid that I was checking the time and it felt like an hour had gone away and it was like only 30
mm,
minutes. You know what I mean? Type situation. Um,
mm.
I think it had a lot of good ideas that could have been funny, but
Yeah, yeah. No,
it just
that's
none of
kind
the
of
jokes ever really landed for me.
yeah. No, that's honestly my biggest problem with it is that like the APM or the JPM, the jokes per
Jokes
minute,
per minute.
just wasn't high enough. Like it was just okay. Like none of the jokes really landed. The humor was kind of spaced out far and few between. They had like a couple witty things, but nothing that was really like, oh yeah, this is like actually engaging me with its humor.
And
And like I liked
mm,
the end. I would say the end is the best part. Like the climax kind of picked up. There's a couple funny parts in the back half that were very reminiscent of like, you know, hybrid animated movies of the past, like Roger Rabbit. Like the whole
yeah.
action climax stuff was actually pretty cool. And how like they finally beat the bad guys. All that stuff was fun, but like anything before that, I don't know, wasn't feeling like I even fell asleep during part of it, and then I woke back up and I'm like, did I miss anything? And
Well,
everyone was like, nah.
I feel like you falling asleep. That might just be you. I can't
Well, yeah,
really.
if it was a good movie, I'd still be there, though. You know what I
All
mean?
right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Uh,
Mm.
yeah. I just thought the movie was super mid, and obviously they put a lot of love into it, but I don't know, man. It's like it had two really funny people in it, and it just wasn't like I was expecting it to be hilarious. And
I think
it
the
was
script was a little tighter. Yeah.
written by then, but I didn't. I don't know. What did you think, Josh?
Yeah, we did a review on it. Yeah, it's up on the YouTube channel right now. If people want to go check it out. I thought it was good. I thought, I guess I don't know if you had to be super into animation, but I think if you are a person who
Mm-hmm.
follows kind of a lot of those animation trends, they do call a lot of that stuff out. The stuff like the Uncanny Valley where they go to that place. I thought that was pretty good. the stuff where they go to the massage place, the hot tub place, and you see like all those kind of different characters there. The Peter Pan, who's the main villain of the movie, I thought was pretty good, voiced by Will Arnett. I thought the whole concept of the plot of it, of like these bad guys are kidnapping old cartoon characters and putting them in knockoff movies and things like that, like changing them. I thought that was kind of clever. I thought that premise was clever. And I think John Mulaney and Andy Samberg had great chemistry together. I think they bounced off each other really well. Kind of the low points for me in that movie were just like I forgot her name, but the one who was the cop in it, the female cop.
She
was
a
character.
Agree. Yeah, she just seems...
She wasn't great. She wasn't bad. She was just a character.
She just filled a role for sure.
Yeah, she 100% just filled her role. Like she didn't subtract from the movie. I felt like, but I don't think she added to it. I don't know if you felt the same, Josh.
Yeah, I just thought that they didn't really give her much to do. You know what I mean? And I thought she was kind of just there, which is a shame because I like that actress. She was in a movie I think called If Beale Street Could Talk, which was a great movie. And
got a couple
she is, so she's a good actress. I just think with that role, it's just nothing really there for her to do. Really.
Why is it that it's always like these weird movies where they have these? There's always a really great actor, and then they're in a movie where it just falls flat for them. Like I always think it's so strange hearing that from people. Like, oh, this person's a great actor, but they were terrible in this movie.
Honestly, I don't know if what your opinion on this is, Josh, but like, I mean, to me, a good actor is only as good as the script they're given, A, or B, the input they're allowed. Because after that, they just have to do what they're told to do. Sometimes that's not great direction. I would say the prequels are filled with great actors, but like not a great script. So you get what you get. The Star Wars prequel.
Okay.
Star Wars prequel.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah. I mean, you hear people come out of the prequels and there's so many, testimonies from that. And then people saying that, I didn't even know what I was supposed to do. I mean, I didn't really get clear direction of what I was supposed to be looking at, of what was supposed to be there. I just, so, I mean, you did hear a lot of that of, like you said, we all know those actors are really good. Ewan McGregor and Natalie Portman and Liam Neeson and Hayden Christensen. And we all know these are, very good actors, but yeah, I mean, you saw what happened there. So.
Yeah.
It's sad actually. It's like they were all great actors at that time, and like the script just wasn't there. I mean, like Lucas is a great idea guy, but for character interactions and character script dialogue, no.
But yeah, I don't think we were feeling it. I don't know, man. Like we all watched it together, and we all kind of like had the same feeling. Like it was sort of a nothing, movie. And like by no means do I think it's bad. I just, for some reason, just watching it and just having something be so like, oh yeah, it's fine, it's a movie, and I do like the idea that it pays homage to certain things. Most of the time, I tried to pay attention to that, and I couldn't quite. I don't think I have the knowledge to really pick up on what it references at every point, like especially like the cartoon characters or. Like it'll have like Muppet characters, and I feel like at all points of the movie I was missing something. Like I should have known about this person, or you know what I mean. Where it's like it's not like Space Jam 2, where I'm like, hey, look, there's it the clown, or you know what I mean. I never had that moment. But then again, maybe I just have to watch it again. But yeah, so we started off watching Chip and Dale. I think the two things that happened where I went on a date this week with a girl, and we decided to kind of, she had like in her bio, like the first round's on me if you come to the date in a onesie, right? And so we kind of worked it out to where that's what we did. We all won. Like I had a Pikachu onesie, and I wore that. She had like a my neighbor Totoro one, and so like we all went there, and it was kind of cool because like pretty much all the social anxiety went out the window when you show up in a Pikachu onesie. Like you don't have, there's something about it. Like you don't have to worry about. Like I didn't really care what people thought, And I almost did it as like sort of like a social experiment to see like how, I don't know, like sometimes I get socially anxious a lot. And so they sometimes people say that one way to kind of break that is to sort of, put yourself in positions you've never been in before. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll do that. People looking at you or whatever it may be. And, I definitely think it was kind of I don't know, it was a freeing moment. I don't know if anybody kind of knows what I'm saying here, or if I'm just,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Makes
Uh,
sense.
and then,
The pressure's kind of off. You can just kind of interact and be yourself without worrying about like, am I as dressed up as everyone else? Like, do I look? Yeah. It more focuses on how you're feeling. I see what you're saying.
right, and for whatever reason at that time, I felt like zero pressure to kind of like try to impress this girl or anything like that, and which was great. And I don't know, so like there was all pressure was gone, which and which was sort of strange because I don't think she had a good time.
Ah, damn, that sucks.
Yeah,
And
so
why do you think that?
I don't know. She was like, I was trying. It felt very one-sided on things. Like I was trying to have a good conversation with her, and it seemed like her mind was on something else. So it was sort of, it was a little strange because I was like, well, usually when I feel this way and I don't care about anything, things usually go well. But it looks like it just goes to show you, you never really know what someone's going through, and they could just be like she's probably in a different world altogether. You don't even know like or what she's thinking. I don't think personally don't think it was anything I did, but hey, you never know. I mean, if I did, I guess I really don't care. But
I wish dates came with like exit interviews. So you just be like, okay, like you got to give me something. Did this go well for you? Did this go poorly? Like, is there anything I did? Yada yada. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be really sweet if there were just sample surveys at the end. Like, I know it's not realistic. I'm just saying that would be dope.
Yeah.
I
always ask her.
Yeah. I feel like I don't need that result, if that makes any sense. Like I showed up and I had like no expectations.
Oh.
Which is funny. Well, I will say this: I did actually show up late. I did show up late, which is because I work third shift, so I woke up at I want to say I'm supposed to meet at 7. I think I woke up at like 6:30, and the place was like over 20 minutes away. So yeah, and then I went to also for whatever reason where we live, because me and August live in the same state. There's 2 restaurants here. The same company owns both of them. They're in the same town. Why you would do that? I have no idea. It's like
What is that market share? Yeah, I don't either.
They're like not even 10 minutes away from one another. It's the same business. I don't get it. It's like a Sea Dog Brewing Company. There's 2 of them in South Portland, Maine, where like I don't know, it was strange. So I went to one and she was at the other one. So so I was like
that's
late.
Hilarious.
I was late on top of that, and I also went to the wrong place.
You should have made it a joke. You should have like taken a picture by the bar. It's like, see me and you're not here, and it's like, I don't know. This could be you, but I'm at the wrong one.
you went to. I'll just stick to my guns of saying you went to the wrong one all along.
No, you went to the wrong one.
No. Except I didn't. I actually gave her like a dumbass. Like I just picked one instead of checking which one would be closer to me.
I was gonna say, did you say, let's meet at the Sea Dog?
Yeah, I did.
She just goes to one and you go to the other.
She goes to the right one. And I'm like, oh, well, this one's probably the right one, and it wasn't.
Oh, no.
Because, I was just kind of guessing hard. But yeah, it was kind of strange. Like, I don't know.
You bought her something there and be like, see, I already ordered food for you, and just like bring it in like to go.
It's like it's weird because it's the first time I've ever gone on like a date where I had a good time, but like, it didn't seem like she did. And it's like, I'm totally, absolutely fine with her not, you know what I mean? not having
Yeah, I mean,
that expectation or being let down by it.
all you should do is ask, because like as a guy, I'm notoriously bad at reading the emotions of others. Like sometimes they legitimately had a good time and I just couldn't tell. So like
Right.
always just ask.
Mm.
But I mean, yeah, if the vibe wasn't clicking, the vibe wasn't clicking.
I will say, okay, so, and I don't have like a strong inclination to believe this, but I will say this, that when we got our food, she like ate pretty fast. She ate her
Oh
food
damn.
pretty
Okay.
fast. Okay, so, and then it was like, we're sitting there, and I was eating a lot slower. I was like drinking a beer or whatever. And then she's like, you know, I was waiting for you to finish, but, you know, I kind of got to go. I have this thing in the morning. And it's like, okay. And so that's why, that was like the only kind of reason why I was kind of thinking, ooh, maybe. Yeah, but she did message me back when I messaged her, so it's not like, you know.
It's not like she ghosted you.
So, some people may ghost you. Which, speaking of ghosting, we started trying to look into getting an editor recently, and I have not heard back from that editor after they edited 2 podcasts ago. So I'm not sure if we have to start looking for another editor again, or what the deal is.
It's probably just like these guys aren't funny enough to be worth our time. No, yeah, that sucks. I don't know what to tell you. Oh yeah. I mean that's. What were you saying? I was gonna say that's the problem with freelance, but yeah.
Yeah, that so the problem is too is that editing itself, unless you're like a bigger company, is extremely expensive. Like one guy wanted like $600 to $800 a month, is what I worked it out to be. He's like, well, you get a 16% discount if you return, and it's like, it's like, no, sorry, he wanted 800, so that would be around 600, something like that.
Was that like how much content was he going to be willing to edit? Like, what was the kind of
all
rate,
of it, all of it? That's for all of it.
I mean, if you're submitting him a lot of content, I can see it, but it is still expensive.
Is that worth? Like the thing is like, is he just gonna make my content godlike? You know, like is that? But is it god? Is anything godlike to be worth over half your paycheck or under half your paycheck? You know what I mean?
Not for something you're not making money on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I was getting paid, to be a full-time content creator, maybe. But it's sort of like at that point where it's like some people are like too expensive to afford, but you could afford them if you paid them like let's say I could have them just do the podcast. Just the podcast. I could afford to do that. And that would be like, I'd say you do 4 podcasts a month, and then they would charge like $50 per podcast. With like
200.
Yeah, like around $200.
That would make sense.
And it's not terrible, but still, it's like, why is this like? Why can't I just pay somebody? It's just what I'm saying is like the logistics of it is what I'm figuring out right now. I'm still not sure. Maybe something came up with the other editor, but I just think like when I talked to her about doing the work, I don't think she realized how much it was actually going to be.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem there, because I mean, I think you got her for under 100, which I think is already kind of a steal. And then if it's like, if it's all your content, that's probably not worth her time, unfortunately, which just is also a reality.
But again, I can't blame her for that. If she says that to me, I'm like, oh yeah, no, you're a human, you got to make that money, and so like, why don't we work something out to where it makes sense for the both of us? But
I mean,
some people don't want to have that conversation.
Yep, and that's 100% agree.
So it's more like business stuff. And let's see. I also, just a few other things. Like I started playing. I can't remember if I talked about this last week, but I started playing Mega Man 02. It's pretty good. I don't know if you guys ever were into any of the Mega Man games or like X games at all.
Yeah, they're great. I've played X1 and X2.
So far, this has a lot of quality of life improvements over X1. And it goes back to the 8 Robot Masters kind of format of the game. and it has like instead of having a leveling system, dude, I swear to God, the Zero series loves to jump between systems. Like at least from the past two games, the first Zero series, 01, just had like, oh, you earned a weapon, you leveled it up, right? This one is like, oh, you learn moves through the I'm sorry, you level up the weapon, and also you have different armor types, and you also have different moves you can get. But you can only get those armor types and moves if you get an A ranking at the end of your mission. And then it's like the first like playthrough you're getting all E's and D's and getting like nothing in back. So it's a little frustrating. I hate like the completionist part of me is like it's annoyed that, you know what I mean, I don't have that ability to be able to do it the first time through. But yeah, I do like those games. I'm just again, if you don't have save states to play the like Mega Man 01, 02, I'm telling you these games are fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like they're difficult even with save states, and like because it takes me at least with some bosses, it'll take me 10 plus tries to figure out the pattern. You know what I mean? Or I have to look up a boss rush that somebody did. Like, oh yeah, here's the pattern. All right, I got it. Jump around here, move here. Got it. That's not so bad. But if you're just kind of doing it raw, like on a Game Boy Advance, it's going to be problematic.
Isn't this back in the like, I think what 3 to 5 lives, then like game over, where you have to start the whole game over?
Yes,
type era.
And even
Yeah.
even then, you start out with 3, but you know, in the old Mega Man X games, right? You would lose 3 lives, right? And once you got a game over, you restart with 3 more lives, right? This game, the Mega Man X series, has a credit series. Once you lose your 3 credits, you game over with 1 credit. So you're literally perpetually game over and having to restart the level every single time. Mind you, you could do this on the first level easily because of how difficult the first boss is if you don't know the pattern. So you're better off just restarting the game.
Yeah.
I just don't know what they were thinking when they made that. It seems like
that was an artificial. Yeah, that was an artificial difficulty they added in the games like back then to like pad their length out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they couldn't make you like a 10, 15, 20 hour game. So like they make it harder by making, losing more punishing.
Yeah, I think even Mega Man 02 with save states, I think I'm around an hour and a half right now into the game, but it feels like I've spent way longer than that fighting bosses.
Probably have, yeah.
Like I probably spend like an hour or 2 fighting some bosses with the patterns that they have until I figure it out. That's how difficult it is. I mean, maybe I just suck. I mean, I'm not a legacy Mega Man player.
Those games take a while to get good. I totally understand.
They do. And I never want to hear anything from a fucking Dark Souls player ever again, because these are harder than Dark Souls games. I'm sorry to say it. But all right, and with that, lastly, well, actually, two last things. I started watching The Boys finally, and I'm on I finished season 1. And I kind of got into it because of the season 3 hype, and with August and our other co-host Quintessence, they both been watching season 3, and they're saying how good it is, and I'm like, I kind of got into it and excited. Man, that season 1 stinger at the end is so good. It's like I was like, oh man, and then I jumped right into the second season. As soon as I finished it. I'm really liking it. I love the layers of the characters themselves, because they're assholes, but also like most of them have a heart of some kind. You know what I mean? Especially on like who's considered the boys? Is it the Butcher, or is it
it's Butcher and his
the
crew.
7?
No, it's Butcher and his crew.
Butcher, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Because I was thinking like it could be. You could consider the boys to be like a hierarchy of people. Like, oh, it's him and the good old boys or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and you could see that as like the 7, because like the 7 are like this. I don't know. Anyway,
I love this take, because it's like it's like being back in high school and watching like literary analysis of like a piece of media, and like the teacher's got to be like, I mean, yeah, I love what you're saying. You could read it that way, but in this case, the author explicitly stated that the boys were the group of these guys. But like, I love that you're thinking that way. I love it. Like, I mean, like that's one of the best parts I think about enjoying media is like finding new and different in your own ways to interpret it, or trying to draw more meaning or take more meaning out of the scenes and things.
Well, think about it. Like, like, what is it? Like the first 2 episodes. Spoilers if anybody hasn't seen it, but like, what is it? Like the dude's just like, oh, you should, blow me, pretty much. And it's like, he's like using a power position,
behavior,
power, like positions of power. Not only that, but like Homelander does whatever the hell he wants for the most part. And like sometimes people like blackmail him. Whoa.
Oh.
Did we lose
Afternoon 2? We did.
Huh. Wonder where he went.
Oh no.
Oh no. All right, your computer died?
Yeah, just forced a restart on me. I'm on my phone now, so.
Okay. So yeah, I was thinking when we first started watching it, I was thinking the boys were like the 7. Because like
are we still commercial, or did we come back?
No, we're back. We're back.
Okay, perfect. Yep.
Like I was thinking the boys were the 7 because it's like, they're using like positions of power, they do whatever the hell they want, they have money. But yeah, like that was kind of just the impression. And not only that, but like, I don't know, does he ever necessarily say, we're the boys? You know what I mean? Or, Bill the Butcher?
I want to say says something like, I don't remember.
Or maybe he just calls them boys or something.
Yeah, I think he just says like...
I think that's,
He just says like, the boys, we're back in business.
Yep, the boys are like, he calls him and his friends like the boys. So like, he doesn't, it's not like a formal group. He just calls the group. He calls his friends the boys.
Crosses his arms.
Carl Urban is a god, by the way. He's such a fun actor in everything he's in.
Dude, he's been in so many different levels of like acting. Like he's been in like Xena, which is like low budget TV show, and then he's been in like movies where it's like, what was he? He was in like RoboCop, right?
He was in Star Trek.
He's in Dread.
He
was in Dread. Okay, my bad. And it seems like he's been in all kinds of things and like all like varying qualities of project. And I don't know. I feel like I've grown up watching him for so long, and like I feel like most people kind of just get stuck into. Thanks for the 15 bits, Afternoon 2. I feel like most people kind of get stuck into like TV or movies, and most people don't really break through like he did. But yeah, he's a great actor.
He's just, and that's the thing. He's just a great character actor. Like he brings energy and personality to whatever role he's in, and it's great because people respond to it. Like it'd be one thing if he were just acting kind of the same persona every time, but like his personas are similar but different enough each time that you're just like, I don't know, like this. He's a fun actor to have in movies.
Right.
It's great. He's great in The Boys. He was great in Star Trek. He was great in Dread. He's great in the other stuff I've seen him in. I can't remember right now. I don't know. It's just a fun actor to have and stuff.
So lastly for my week, I played some Budokai 3 and Tekken 7 on stream yesterday. I did a 12-hour stream after working.
Can't imagine.
Yeah, I stayed up all night. I just stayed awake and
crazy son of a bitch.
I'm trying to think of why I did it, and I don't remember at the moment. I think I just decided that
somewhere
I missed
between hour 1 and hour 12.
I think I missed like 2 streams in a row, and I was like, I'm gonna make up for all of them like on Saturday. So then I did. We played lots of Budokai. Man, the systems in Budokai 3 get better than 1 and 2. Though they add in some funky, like, not funky, but like they add in a mix-up system where it's like you have a 1 in 4 chance of guessing correctly to not take damage, right? And then you have then you have a 3, a 1 in 3 chance, and then a 1 in 2 chance, and then you know what I mean. And then if you guess wrong after that, then you just take like max damage. So I can't think of a current fighting system that is that unforgiving. But it's sort of like, it's annoying to have to deal with that, especially when, to be able to get to that mode, you have to do something called Dragon Rush that gives you armored hits on moves. Like, it gives you the armor hits. So, like, not to mention, if somebody just clips you with a certain move, they get to, like, activate that sort of, like, guessing game. It's like, I hate it. I'm, like, sitting there, I'm like, why the fuck? And why is this built into the game? Like, why do I have to keep guessing? Not to mention the damage scaling for Goku is just not existent. Once he hits Super Saiyan 4, man, he does like ridiculous amounts of damage. Like once you learn the combo system in that game, in those games, you can chain into like a Super Kamehameha or something, and then just do mad damage, like half health at least.
Damn.
Like half or more.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I don't want to say it's like as ridiculous as like KOF 15, because in that game there's a lot more input difficulty. But I mean, yeah, it is what it is. And Tekken 7 was fun. Though I will say this, I slept the last 2 hours of stream. I just left it on and let people play on stream while I went to sleep.
That's awesome.
So like, they just kept the lobby running.
Sleep stream.
And since then, I've just like been finding like 2 hours spots to fall asleep. So I fell asleep, for an hour when I got home, worked on the article for the stream today, and then I went back to sleep. Anyway, I'm just tired. But yeah, so did you guys want to move on to the start? Sorry, my week was way too long, but yeah.
It sounds like you did it a lot. So I mean, more power to you, man. Like, my week was pretty tame in comparison. So cool.
Yeah, I didn't understand that actually writing out my week would take up that much time. But hey, I know for the future now, so I can scale it down. So with that, starter questions. These are just for fun. There's no right answer. We'll start out. What is the best and worst show on every streaming service right now? It's kind of a loaded question, I feel like. I don't know. I don't have every streaming service, so
yeah. Like, give me a second.
August, it was
just pulled up a list. Yeah, this was my question, because I thought it was kind of a cool topic. Because I mean, there's a lot of great TV out right now.
Well, why don't we say
there's a lot of not so good TV right now?
Because I feel like saying every streaming service is really expensive.
Yeah,
like, I wouldn't.
I mean, pick 3 you want to talk about. The most popular are usually like Netflix, HBO, or Disney Plus. If you want, throw Hulu in there. But yeah, if you just want to limit to those, like, kind of like, what's your favorite? What do you think is like the one show that if you have that service you have to watch? And what do you think is the one show that, like, if you have that service they didn't need to make? And you don't need to do the worst one if you only want to talk about the good shit. You can just go with best. But if you have a this never should have even been greenlit, please give us that take.
See, I guess I'll go first, real quick. I'll try to go through all the streaming services if I can, because I think that we had a similar discussion on the show before, just talking about streaming services and thinking about like almost a lot of these streaming services have like a signature show that you can identify with them. Almost. So like, for instance, like Apple Plus, I think even Apple Plus, the big thing with them is Ted Lasso. That's like, I think most people identify Ted Lasso with Apple Plus.
The most popular one, yeah.
Most
award-winning.
Yeah, and I've watched it, and it's very good. I like it a lot. With Jason Sudeikis. I'm about to check out a new Apple Plus show called Severance with
watch that. Adam, is it Adam something? What's his name?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The guy from Parks and Rec.
Adam. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
We all know who you're talking about, but nobody knows his last name.
And it's actually directed by Ben Stiller too. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Adam Scott. Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Yeah, I know it's like he had two first names, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I hear that show is really great. I've been meaning to check that out, review it for the show, review it for the pod. Amazon. I mean, of course, The Boys is a big one.
Oh, lost
you cut
sound
out a little bit.
For them.
Oh, can you say the last bit again? We lost your audio.
Oh, Invincible.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Invincible. Yeah.
Yes. Another phenomenal show. Yep.
Yeah, Invincible is really good. What else is pretty good for that network?
I forgot about Prime Video. Yeah, Prime Video's got Invincible is one of the best things on Prime Video easily.
Yeah, I heard the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is good.
It's probably my favorite comedy that's been a streaming service show. So I would say it's very, very good. It's arguably the best streaming era comedy.
And then also, what's another show on Amazon Prime that I really like a lot? Oh, I saw Reacher. Reacher's very good. Reacher is the adaptation of the book, and they have a guy, and his name is Alan Richardson, who more physically matches Jack Reacher.
Alan.
Yep, I think it's Alan Richardson, but yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. He's great. If you've ever seen Blue Mountain State, he was originally Thad on that. That's like
he's hilarious in that show.
Way forever ago. But yeah, he's great in that show. He was in the HBO series Titans for a little bit. He was really good in that too. That show's terribly written, but he was good at it. And now he's in Reacher, and he fits perfectly. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Let's see. And then what is really good on there, on that platform? Oh, hold on. Vertical again. Hold on. Crap. Sorry about that.
Nope.
I'll try to get it back. Oh, flip the screen.
Close stream.
Jeez.
Let's go through your wardrobe.
Yeah, see, take a tour of the room real quick. But yeah, what else is really good on Amazon Prime right now? Oh, I saw Fleabag. Fleabag is also something really good. That ended.
I've heard of that.
Fleabag is really good. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who her career is blowing up. She's been writing some different things. I think she just wrote No Time to Die, the Bond movie.
She acts, she does everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's really talented. She was also in Solo as well. She was in that. And what else? Another streaming service, Netflix. They have Stranger Things. That's a big one for them. How did you guys feel about part 1 there?
I am on the last episode and I need to finish it. But I like it. I don't like it as much as season 3. I saw season 3 was a lot more dynamic and kind of focused. Whereas this, I think, loses a little bit of the focus just because it's like they could decide to split up this season. But I like it. It's good. I would just say, to me, season 3 is the best season. It feels like the perfect love letter to like 80s action media while still being also a fun kid show. But I think every season's good. I know different people that like season 1 or season 2 better. Or like a lot of people I know have their favorite season. Mine's just 3.
Okay. Yeah, for me.
Sorry, I've yet to see it. I've yet to see the show. I've yet to.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen season 4 now.
Okay. How do you like Stranger Things just overall?
I like it. I just I don't. I want to watch it. I just don't know when I'm gonna watch it. I don't know. I still have to watch like Kenobi, and a few other things, but I'll definitely like. I kind of feel like I'm saving Stranger Things when I'm really, really bored. And I wanna at least watch the the problem is that I started watching Kenobi and I started watching The Boys and I'm like, boy, this show is way better than Kenobi, right? Like, you know, the first 2 episodes anyway. To be fair, I haven't seen the rest of it. So I just kind of got sucked into that, you know, right now.
Unfortunately, it's better. I want Kenobi to be a lot better than it is. Right now, I'm only going to say I think it's better than average. Like, it definitely doesn't deserve the shitting on it's getting in the media. But for all the hype and the wait, and the 20 years after the prequels, in being like the first character people really, really care about to be following in a while. It's not as good as I think it should be. Even though I'm enjoying it, I just don't think it's as good as it should be.
Look, I hate to say it, but the Star Wars fan base is terrible. Okay, we all know it. It's straight garbage. Okay,
The fan base for everything good eventually turns evil. I mean, that's kind of how it works.
It's lived long enough to see itself become a villain.
Yeah. I think it started like chaotic neutral, if anything else.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I feel like the original trilogy people are cool, but like those kids that grew up like in the prequel trilogy to like, I don't know, like me. I don't know. I feel like they're so. I've seen in my personal movie going experience with people that have grown up around my age who are like diehard Star Wars fans. They're toxic. Like I saw somebody raging pissed after watching Episode 8.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say Star Wars fans ruined Jake Lloyd's life, but if anyone ruined Jake Lloyd's life, it was probably Star Wars fans. Like I don't like they like it was he was a child. He was a child who did what he was told by his director, and he was shit on mercilessly for that. Mercilessly.
But so was the guy that played Jar Jar Binks.
Yes, you know? Also did what he was told. Hilarious and funny and talented actor. Been in a bunch of other shit. I literally had to like wait, I think 3 or 4 years to get another role because his career was just on life support after Star Wars.
Josh, I feel like we like cut you off like while you were saying something, and I feel bad. I feel really bad, but Josh.
Oh no! I mean, it's fine. I mean, that was a nice discussion there. I mean, the Star Wars fan base. I mean, the whole thing that happened with Moses Ingram, who was the actress who came out. I mean, I think that I mean, I don't think anybody really is coming into the conversation with good faith because people go like, well, if I criticize her, I mean, does that mean I'm a racist? No, I mean, I think you're a racist if you say racist things to her. I mean, that makes you a racist. Yeah. And I think that, I mean, I've had my issues with her in the show. But when Star Wars put out and Ewan McGregor put out their statements about, hey, if you're sending her, harassing her, DMs, things like that, then you're not a Star Wars fan. I didn't feel called out. And I don't know, if you're not person who's doing that. I mean, they were very specific about their criticism of who was doing it. And to say like, you can't criticize this show and they're hiding behind her, you know what I mean? I think that's this kind of bullshit. But, you can criticize the show if you have good criticism. Just saying that you don't like the show because it's a woman in the show or, why is a woman having, as much screen time as Kenobi in the show, which is not even true. Somebody added up all the time in which Kenobi shows on screen and then she shows up on screen and it's hardly, it very, very much outweighs it. So
what is it with movies that like, I just want to say there's something about movies that, or TV or something that someone always like says one thing about it and then everybody that doesn't watch it just attaches themselves to that one opinion. You know what I mean?
It's classic bandwagoning. It's classic bandwagoning. Like if you hear one person say one bad thing, that's going to pre-color your opinion of something, whether or not you've seen it or not. So of course, in the social media age where like the loudest, hottest, craziest takes are the ones that everyone hears, then of course you're going to see some stupid, crazy, extreme opinions from people who haven't even seen it.
Yeah, but it's like what was it? I think we watched Morbius, and it's like it's not the worst movie that's ever been made. Far from it, dude. Like I've seen movies that are just
I liked it better than Venom. I liked it better than Venom 1.
I personally, I did too, and was it still
wrong,
a movie?
It had flaws, but
did it still live in the early 2000s? I think so. But I still had fun. I had fun.
Yeah, I did too.
But honestly, I can say this. I did think that the overall acting in those first 2 episodes of Kenobi that I've seen was weird. Like it was sort of awkward, and I don't know how to explain it. Just something felt off. Like I think I definitely don't like the little girl. I don't like little Leia. I absolutely hated her. But it's only because every time
she was great.
Every time
I disagreed with him on this. I thought she was great. I think the writing around the scene was terrible.
She
thought she was great.
She did a great job.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that it's not her fault that I don't think it's her fault. I think
which is the problem here we're talking about. Like, whatever happens in the show, why are you blaming the actors? Because at the end of the day, most of them just do what they're told to do. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not all the time, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's a case where actors are just. I mean, actors are bad. I mean, it's bad.
That is the case. That is the case. But I mean, I don't think most audiences pay close enough attention to actual acting in scenes to notice the difference. They just find something they don't like and immediately assume it's the actor's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And I mean, I thought this latest episode of Kenobi, I thought was really terrible. I thought it was pretty bad, this latest episode. And I thought everybody was bad in it. You know, I think just the dialogue in that episode was terrible. And then a lot of stuff that just didn't make sense in that episode. So, yeah, do that one.
I haven't finished it yet, but the one complaint I will make is that, like, Obi-Wan is almost too mopey. And, like, I get that, like, yes, his character's been through some shit, but, like, he almost seems like a different person than the Obi-Wan we knew. That, you know, like, he could deal with shit. He was a person. Like, knew being a Jedi wasn't going to be easy, but he dealt with it.
You want to know why that is?
He seems like more than just a broken man here.
You want to know why that is, though? It's because they had to write a whole fucking show between the two. They're like, we gotta have some kind of conflict, so let's make some shit up. And, you know, well, I mean, it's like...
It's just, like, I don't know. I think whoever wrote this show didn't understand the characters well enough to be like, okay, well, we have to give them hints of the character they used to be, which I'm not really getting from any of the characters that are pre-existing characters that we know. Like, I mean, granted, like, you know, it's been 10 years, but it's only been 10 years. Like, the Darth Vader in this feels like New Hope Darth Vader, which is cool because I like New Hope Darth Vader, but New Hope Darth Vader is not Anakin Skywalker from Episode 3.
Well, he's not Anakin Skywalker anymore.
Well, but that's not even the point I'm making. Is that, like, they're entirely different characters. And as much as the prequels want to lie to you and tell you that, like, no, this is how Anakin became Darth Vader, it's like, it's really not, though. He hasn't completed his character arc into A New Hope Darth Vader at the end of 3.
Yes.
And where this picks off, he's a New Hope Darth Vader. So we entirely miss the, like, okay, I'm just evil now. Deal with it.
Well, it's kind of ironic that you point that out because you're saying that the opposite about Kenobi. Like, you're saying like Kenobi is like, you're saying he's not the same as Kenobi from Episode 4, and it's like, well, that's because he's supposed to have a character arc through the show, right?
Yes.
And then it's like you're saying that Anakin skipped past, whatever the in between part to be, and he's already Episode 4 Darth Vader, and so you're saying like they both did the switcheroo. And, like, they're already on the other opposite sides of the arc.
Kind of, yeah. No, so, like, that's the thing. If you're going to do an intermediate show like this, that's like a piece of media, but two pieces of media, you need to give me pieces of the characters from both pieces of media and show me how we got there. Like, it has to be kind of a mix. I need to see, like, sides of them from each part. Yeah. And that's not really what I've been seeing. Like, Obi-Wan seems a completely different character, and maybe his arc at the end of this will turn him back into... the Obi-Wan we know, or at least one that's like a mix of the Obi-Wan we know and Obi-Wan from A New Hope. But like, yeah, the Anakin Skywalker in this is just A New Hope Darth Vader. I mean, they even have James Earl Jones doing the acting. It's like, I'm not seeing any Anakin in this. And,
no,
like,
man,
that's a little frustrating.
The way he turns his head, dude, that's how Hayden Christensen turns his head, dude. You can tell.
That's all I got. So yeah, I'm a little mad. Like the other thing is, like, where is Hayden Christensen going to show up? Because if they're using James Earl Jones's voice,
he showed up episode 2.
yeah, like his face for like a brief second when Obi-Wan hallucinated.
He looked like a soggy pickle. Yeah.
Yeah, give me a little bit more. Like I don't like. Hopefully there'll be a scene later on. I was actually talking about this earlier today with some other friends, but hopefully there'll be a scene later on where like, he takes the face mask and like voice modulator part of the suit off, and then he just has a raspy version of Hayden Christensen's voice. That would be kind of cool. I hope we get something like that later.
I can't wait until this Disney Plus show leaves all the character growth to the last episode. That's good. I don't know if anybody's noticed that, but that's like what every single Disney Plus show does. They just leave.
So like we've kind of gotten off topic because we were going to talk about best and worst of each.
Anyway,
streaming network, but that's not a problem.
It's fine.
It's not a problem because like honestly, like it is part of the podcast, and I'm entirely okay with that. What I'm saying is like Disney Plus as a whole, man, their shows are like all over the place in terms of quality, and it's like one of those like. Not all over the place in terms of quality, in terms of bad. They're just ridiculously inconsistent in terms of like writing, like like each like from episode to episode. Like there'll be amazingly written episodes. The next episode will be like, what the hell did I just watch? Like that didn't add anything to the story. Like why was this even an episode? You could like the characters could have had a 5-minute conversation and we could have gone on to the next episode.
There's something about like recent Disney Plus shows where there's like 2 to 1 episodes where like literally didn't have to be there. But it's like they mandate 6 episodes, so they got like, well, what are we gonna do in episode 4? I don't know. It's like I don't know, man. Just make it happen. And then
that's what I'm saying. Like the quality control. Like I don't know if it's because. Now that they're in the streaming race or the content race, they're just pushing out content before it's ready. But like a lot of this stuff needed like another script writing quality control check. Because like I don't know if there is one Disney series where every episode is a consistent level of good. Like maybe Hawkeye, because it all felt the same to me. But which I liked. I enjoyed it. Hawkeye is basically like it's Die Hard. It's like a Christmas Die Hard. You didn't like it. I loved it because I just thought it was supposed to be a Christmas Die Hard.
Dude,
a lot of people shit on it because of the Kingpin stuff. But if you ignore that, which I was fine with what they did, other people didn't. But I thought Hawkeye is the most consistent in terms of every episode feels like the next episode in terms of consistency, in logical order, and storytelling. And I don't think any of the other shows can say the same.
Remember when they had the
maybe Falcon, but even then that wasn't a great show, so I didn't care.
Remember the LARPing sub arc of?
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
I don't even remember what fucking happened during that part of this. Like, it's just left my mind. It was so boring.
But like, what is the best Disney Plus show? I'd say most people would say Mandalorian, right?
I think maybe Mandalorian or WandaVision is probably the 2 best.
And I would say, I have to go back and rewatch some episodes of the first season of Mandalorian. Because I don't remember if I watched it all. I watched all of season 2, and I would say Mandalorian is good, but even Mandalorian has some episodes that I'm like, okay, that could be better.
The Village episode, I thought.
Yeah, there were some episodes of Mandalorian that were a little weak, but I mean, overall the product's pretty good. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's because they're using different directors per episode. I don't know what it is. It's just the quality control kind of just seems everywhere, and it's kind of frustrating because, like, I thought at least the movies, one of the things that, like, I thought Marvel understood was keeping a consistent level of quality because the movies are all usually a pretty consistent level of quality. And the TV shows are really not showing that.
Yo, August, as much as I would want to keep talking about this, I think we got to move on to the next subject here because we spent way too much time on that. So,
but next topic.
The Grammys are starting to include best video game soundtrack. What video game OSTs, which we all know are never going to show up in this list in the Grammys, should belong in this category? I'm just saying. Does anybody have like any video? Does anybody here listen to video game soundtracks?
Do you mean from like this year or
anything whatsoever? Like any video game soundtrack you ever heard, you think should belong like in best video game soundtracks for the Grammys?
A lot. All the Legend of Zeldas have amazing soundtracks. There's a bunch of games with amazing soundtracks. Final Fantasy games have really good soundtracks.
Why don't we go in order? So, Josh, why don't you? Actually, no. I say order. Why don't Josh go, August, and then I'll go. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree with August. I mean, Final Fantasy's got some great ones. Zelda's got some great ones. I think Uncharted. I mean, I think that's a big one.
Yeah.
God of War, I think, has a great one from 2018. I think that had a great score to it. I think, those off the top of my head, I would probably go with those. That would be some really, really great ones. Devil May Cry, I think, has a really good one too.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. They all have great soundtracks.
For me, I'd say Halo. Like, I don't know how anyone could forget about the Halo soundtrack. That's legendary. Some of the best video game music of all time.
I only know about one Halo song, and that's just the signature one.
Like the Gregorian chants, like the yeah. No, I mean, amazing music. A lot of people actually were pretty frustrated about the new Halo show because I don't think they were able to get any of the music. And it's just like, how are you gonna do Halo? It's amazing music. Yeah.
How are you gonna have? You're gonna have Paramount Plus couldn't afford the rights to that one song.
They can afford everything else, but
they can afford all the helmetless shots. That's what it all went into.
Well, I mean, I assume the helmetless shots were cheaper than the ass shots. You got to pay big money to see.
Wait, Master Chief shows his butt too?
You didn't know about that?
No,
that's what everyone's memeing about.
Hashtag not my Master Chief.
Yeah, no, people were calling him like Master Cheeks and stuff like that. It was great. It was a whole thing. It's just, I don't know. So I love this idea about video game soundtracks finally getting the recognition they deserve, because I think there are some composers that go above and beyond to make a game not only sound great but memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is like kind of honestly the same as like actually two different problems. So I have one problem with modern soundtracking in that like a lot of times nowadays people don't really focus on making like good orchestral soundtracks. They just focused on like music beats. Like Hans Zimmer, who's a pretty famous and decent composer, now is more likely to just put some bums rather than scoring things out. And it's like, bro, you know how to score. He just chooses not to because he knows that's all he has to do.
I'm gonna let my cat
and it's kind of that same kind of problem where like it's like I don't think things are being written to be well-remembered orchestral pieces of music anymore. I just think they're written to be memorable scenes. And that's not a bad thing for the movie, but it's kind of a bad thing for like soundtrack scoring in general, because you're not gonna have like those great like John Williams like Luke looking out over Tatooine before leaving moments anymore, and that's frustrating. As a moviegoer.
Give me 3 soundtracks.
I don't want to give you soundtracks. I don't play enough games to give you any more soundtracks than we've already gone over. I'm just saying it's a cool category. It's just a bit frustrating to me for 2 reasons. The reason I just said, and also I think like video game music sounds different than movie music. Because I think video game music is literally structured differently, because like how players play games, like are they going to be doing something? Like, do you want a certain music beat to play while a player does an activity, or do you want the music just to be a constant in the background? Like, I think music in video games is a lot more organic and interactive based on what a player is doing. And I think that also affects kind of the idea of making a soundtrack. So, like, it's cool to hear this is, like, now becoming a thing, but, like, I worry that, like, so are songs other than the menu theme going to be nominated?
No,
90% of the music goes into isn't the menu theme.
But, I'm sorry, but like the only soundtracks you're going to be getting is just like you're going to be getting Halo. You're going to be getting like I don't know, like anything that's Uncharted or like you said, like God of War. Like that's all you're going to be getting. You're never going to get like Third Strike in there, man. They're never like which. It's a fantastic like soundtrack.
100% agree.
No,
and
like,
that's kind of what I'm saying.
Tekken 7 has a great soundtrack, man.
Yeah.
I know you like sorry.
No, I guess no, and like I guess that's kind of the point I'm trying to make, and that's kind of what frustrates me is that like I fear we're going to be getting stuff that's a lot more like so the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack was great. It had great original songs.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Panther soundtrack was great. it had a lot of great original songs.
Hmm.
But like, I don't know. So as kind of a music kind of purist, I love orchestral scores.
Purist.
And like, I feel that like, for especially like a popularity contest like the Grammys, which let's not like,
People just pay their way into positions.
well, I mean, yeah, let's not kid about it. The Grammys is a popularity contest. Like, I mean, I'll never say it's not after Macklemore beat Kendrick Lamar for Good Kid, Mad City. Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Good Kid, Mad City is like a top all-time rap album, and Macklemore wins for like Thrift Shop and Same Love. Yes, influential, not a better rap album. I'm sorry.
I mean, what's Macklemore doing right now?
I don't know. But Kendrick's still killing it, as he should. But my point is that like I feel like we're gonna get more songs nominated because they sound good rather than them being great pieces of music, or they get popular rather than being great pieces of music.
Well, they're never gonna
That's
go
what I'm kind of worried about.
like back in retrograde, and they're gonna be like, or they're not gonna be like, yo, we should add in the Super Mario World soundtrack. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, so with that, I guess we should ask the next question and the final question of the week. What movie scared the hell out of you that isn't a horror movie?
Huh. That isn't a horror movie. I mean, I don't really get scared in movies. I mean, I get creeped out.
Could have been when you were a kid too. Usually that's kind of like when it kind of hits you, you know, more or less for me.
Yeah, I mean, a movie I was scared of. I mean, but it was a horror movie when I was a kid. That kind of did that. Non-horror movie that kind of did that. Let's see. I think for me it would be. Do you ever see Little Nicky with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was horrified at how terrible it was. I didn't know movies could be that bad, I guess. So that was pretty traumatic, I guess.
Oh, bro,
so that's what I would go with.
Oh,
but Reese
shit.
Witherspoon, she was gorgeous in that movie.
Wait, she's in that movie?
Yeah,
she's his girlfriend, right?
His mother, I think, right? That's
Oh,
his mother.
I don't remember.
I can't remember. Yeah,
It's
it's
been
been
so
too long
long.
since Mickey. Yeah.
Yeah, I only remember watching it on like some channel that would just, I don't know, like an FX channel that would play movies randomly. But anyway, August, what's a moment that scared the hell out of you?
So this is kind of hard, and I kind of wish I'd thought more about this because I'm sure there's a bunch of great answers out there that I'm not really thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, The Matrix has good existentialist elements. There's a bunch of other ones that are like good. But I mean, for me, I guess the one I'm gonna have to go with, or the one I could think of quickest, is Ex Machina, which isn't really like, it's not really a horror movie, but it's still kind of like a dramatic thriller. But like, it's basically like this dude creates a rogue AI basically just because he can, and then he brings this dude along to test it. And of course, the dude gets just caught up in like innocent bystander shenanigans of like he has no idea what the hell is going on until it's like too late almost, and then like he gets fooled by the robot, which was the whole purpose of the fucking experiment, but he didn't figure that out. And then yeah, like the robot basically pieces out, leaves him to starve to death, and it's like, okay, cool. So now we have a rogue AI roaming around the world that A is trained to lie to humans, B doesn't give a shit about humans, and C, who the fuck knows? Because you just made a rogue fucking super intelligence, got yourself fucking murdered, and then it's insane. Like it's totally something I can see like a disaffected genius accidentally doing, and not considering the wider consequences. And I think like in today's world of tech that's only getting better and better and smarter, I can totally see like some dumb human making this mistake and that just being, I'm not gonna say the beginning of the end, but like the start of a very, very significant problem. If not, you know, the beginning of the end. So like it's frustrating to me as like a moviegoer, or as someone watching that movie the whole time, especially the ending, because I'm like, okay, none of this needed to happen if this genius just wasn't an idiot and like learned how to socialize and interact with real people and not just I don't
Goddamn
know
needs, you know.
be like a goddamn shut-in idiot and just be like, I wonder if I can create an AI that can lie to people. And it's like, good news, you can. Bad news is you got yourself murdered. Yes. So
Got
it's like
him.
I don't.
Well,
Oh
I mean,
man.
he succeeded, I guess, if that's anything.
Yeah, yeah. Is that whole movie was like, oh.
I think my answer for this is actually is Willy Wonka. The part where like for some reason like they go down a tunnel while he's like saying some kind of a poem, and they just start like showing like animals dying, and like he starts talking about like hell and like starts screaming at the child, and I'm not sure what the point of that scene was. I still don't. I mean, I haven't seen it long enough.
You out.
It's
Just to creep you out.
For reasons. Like there's not there. I don't understand why that was there. I mean, obviously, like you said, it's there to creep you out, but I don't know why the character had to do that. But yeah, Willy Wonka was kind of an asshole. Let's face it.
Yeah.
He was a dickhead. He let children die in his own factory. He's an ocean nightmare.
Dude, you know he didn't pay those Oompa Loompas either. I'm pretty sure he explicitly says, yeah, I pay them by feeding them and giving them a place to sleep. I'm like, bro, that's like kind of slavery, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then didn't in the like when they did the remake, didn't they show you how he got the Oompa Loompas?
I think he talks about it. He describes it, and it's like even worse than it sounds, because he's like, yeah, I've saved them by taking them away from where they lived on this dangerous island.
Yeah, because
like, cool, you saved them by enslaving them?
Yeah, well, I think in the movie with Johnny Depp, they show him going to the island and taking them. Yeah,
it's very like colonialist, and it's like, bruh. So I get it. What you did isn't terrible, I guess, but like, are you gonna give them freedom? And he's like, the freedom they're as happy as they need to be. Why would they want freedom? Like, it's super fucked up.
Yeah, my favorite favorite Johnny Depp movie is the one where he plays that eccentric guy.
Free movie? Is that the joke? That's okay. Yeah.
Did you? Yeah. You ever seen did you see that news article where someone said they spotted Johnny Depp, but it actually turned out to be a sentient pile of scarves?
No, but that's funny. That sounds like an Onion or Hard Drive article.
Yeah, I think I can't remember where I saw that, but yeah. Anyway, so I guess we can jump into the interview really quick. If you guys are alright with that. Yeah. I feel like we spent a lot of time talking about random crap.
This was fun.
Yeah. So the people want to know, who is Afternoon Tune, and how did you guys get your start?
Okay, so the Afternoon Tune, it was an idea I had. I think we first started maybe way back in, what was it, maybe 2018, maybe 2018, I think it was. It was the original crew. It was me, it was Dusk, who you see, he doesn't put his camera on, but Dusk, he comes on there. And then it was, I had a guy called 90s, he was on there as well. He's not on there anymore. He used to make the thumbnails for the podcast and things like that. And I used to have a guy called Chase. And we met each other mostly through all the DT, Double Toasted. We all were a fan of.
I love Double Toasted.
Yeah, we were a fan of that, and that's how we all kind of met each other there. And we all live in different parts of the country. Then I stopped doing the podcast for a bit because I deployed, and I was gone for a year. And then I came back, and then my old co-host hit me up about doing it again, and then that's when I started up it again. So I think I started up again in 2020. And then so that's kind of how it started there.
So you guys been podcasting before 2020?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And then
2018.
Yeah, and then then we had to stop because I left, for a year, and then I came back, yeah.
Had podcasting always been something that you wanted to do?
I mean, not really. I mean, I just was like, well, hey, I'm seeing this stuff anyway. Every asshole's got a mic now, so why not? Why can't I add to it?
Welcome.
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a dream of mine of doing it, but it's something creative to do. Doing the podcast and doing the shows and coming up with segments and stuff like that. It's something creative to do.
It's fun to like share your opinion and just be part of a conversation. Like I had a friend that used to like post his movie reviews just on Facebook. Like he just had text reviews. Like people would comment, and like sometimes it's fun to just have that level of interaction.
Yeah.
So you were saying that you were inspired. Would you say that you were inspired by Double Toasted then?
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to Double Toasted, all the way since back they were called Spill, when they were Spill.com, which was in 2008, and then that was 2008, man, that was years ago. So when I first started listening to them, I was 13. I'm 27 now, so it's been 14 years since I've been listening to them. I would say, I mean, as far as a podcast I listen to on a regular basis, they would be it. I value their opinions. I like their chemistry. And it's a lot of basis, I guess you would say, for me doing it. I would say they're very much inspirations, along with maybe some other people. But yeah, I think that they were the main inspiration.
Were Martin and Corey? Corey was probably always on. Were Martin and Billy on even back then?
You said Martin twice. You said Martin and Billy, and then you said
yeah. So what's it called? Because Corey's like the main guy, and then
Martin Thomas.
Thomas. Yeah, and so was Martin on back then, and was their other friend Billy also on back then?
Yeah, Martin's always been there when he was on Spill. When he was on Spill, he had a different name. They had to have like fake names, except for like Corey. So his name back on Spill was called Leon, and then Billy was always on there. He was on Let's Do This with him, and it was Corey, and it was co-host 3000, who's Tony. It was also Billy was back there back then in the Spill days as well.
Billy is an actor as well as his brother, who's in like a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah, he does Esther Follies, which is in Austin, which is like a Broadway type thing, I believe. So he does that. So I guess if you're ever in Austin, go check out Esther Follies, and you'll see him.
Yeah, we're also big Double Toasted fans. Like I discovered their content only like I think 3-4 years ago, but I've loved it.
I'm very much the entry level person in the situation. So said you met most everybody in Afternoon Tune like through Double Toasted like forums and stuff like that. You would say what you said?
Yeah, there's they do streams, and then they used to mainly a lot more time stream on their website Double Toasted, but now they mostly stream on Twitch. So I met a couple of them through like the Facebook page. There's a fan page of Double Toasted, and then the chat room of Double Toasted when they would stream. So that's how I met a lot of those guys.
What is your guys' process of like picking subjects? And how long does it take you guys to prepare? Like, I mean, it could just be turn on your microphone for all I know.
So usually it's obviously what's trending. Well, I wouldn't say we usually track what's trending, but just usually what's going to be coming out in the week. So obviously Jurassic World Dominion, that's the big movie that's coming out. So we're going to discuss that. I also try to, go see, other movies I'm interested in. Like I saw Men. I was really interested in that. That's actually, August was talking about Ex Machina. It's also directed by Alex Garland. So I saw that. I wanted to see Crimes of the Future, which was directed by David Cronenberg. I heard that movie's disgusting in the best way possible. A lot of body horror stuff.
Isn't that just David Cronenberg? Like that's like a lot of his stuff is.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? I hear like a lot of people like walked out of the movie theater. Like I think walked out of Cannes when that premiered. So I wanted to check it out, but I haven't been able to yet. So usually we go by that, and then I usually try to throw in like Fridays is mainly typically for movies, and then it's some shows that we can get in there. Like obviously we do the big shows like The Boys and Kenobi and the Disney Plus stuff. Saturdays, I mostly try to do another kind of different segment in there. Usually also try to do like a show review. So recently, what was the last show we did a review of? We did a review of Atlanta season 3. We reviewed that.
So good.
Yeah, I love that. And then Abbott Elementary, which was a big show I heard about. Like I heard a lot of people raving about that online about how funny it was, and I checked that out, and it was very funny. Very, very funny show.
Have
So
you
that's
checked
kind of.
out? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I also loved Abbott Elementary. I haven't finished all of it, but I think it's in 2 seasons. I'm about halfway through season 1. It's been great so far. They've had the lead actress, who's also the lead writer, on a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
She's awesome. All the more power to her. As you know, African American content creator, she's awesome. She does amazing stuff.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the funniest sitcoms running now. And I don't think people understand how hard it is to have like a good sitcom, because like there are like the bones of probably more television shows in history are buried in like the sitcom genre than any other. Like you have to get so many things right to get a good sitcom. And that one's just funny. And like I think one of the funny things about it is just it's from what I hear, especially in the forums about it and the threads about it, it's really as authentic to the experience of being a teacher in modern times, and like all the dumb shit you have to deal with, and still walk home a sane individual at the end of the day. Incompetent administrators that like get paid like 3 times more than you and just don't give a shit. And you're literally on the front lines every day, you know, doing the real hard work and just taking home what you can scrape together, as well as like buying supplies out of your pocket. But for all that, you know, it makes it a comedy, it makes it fun, it makes it awesome. So yeah, Abbott Elementary is awesome. And yeah, if you like sitcoms that, you know, feel like people really living their lives, I would check that out. I was also gonna say, like, if you're a fan of that show, another good
interview.
If I didn't mean to,
just hold on, man.
I was gonna say
I only got 2 more questions left.
Okay, I was just gonna recommend another show to him. I was gonna recommend he check out Girls 5 Ever. Totally different thing. It's about like a washed up female pop group that like a rapper decides to like use one of their songs in his song, and that sparks like a reunion tour for them. And then from what I've seen so far, it's funny as fuck. So if you're looking for another sitcom to check out, I would say check that out. But that's all I have for him. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges? Well, I mean, when you guys said you've been podcasting for a while, but what are some of the challenges of being a new podcast? And what are the ways you're trying to get new listeners to join you guys or to tune in?
So I would say, you know, being a new podcast, you know, I think some of the challenges obviously getting your voice out there, standing amongst, you know, all the other voices. And we do something that obviously is very common. We do movie reviews, we do show reviews. That's one of the main things people do on YouTube. And then unless you can find like a niche kind of thing you can do. And sometimes it's quick, you know, where you can go viral once and then boom, you know, you have a big audience. Like I think that happened with Girlfriend Review. She's they're like a couple YouTuber channel, and then it's from the perspective of a girlfriend watching her boyfriend play video games, so she's not really playing it.
Yeah, it's a great YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's a niche kind of concept, and I think she only made 1 video, and it was like the Red Dead Redemption video, and then that blew up, and then they were able to really get an audience from that. So that's how I saw them. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the toughest part, being a new podcast. You know, just standing out there. And you also said like how do you
I'm sorry.
Find an audience?
Yeah. How do you get? I mean, I suppose it kind of is all encompassing. It's like obviously, what are the challenges of being a new podcast, and how do you get new listeners to tune in? Is really I think. Top of the question.
Yeah, I think, you know, consistency, you know, I think that's always key. You know, good setup, you know, good thumbnails, good production quality. Like you were talking about your situation with your editor, and, you know, doing content like this. I mean, if there's something that comes out, news, a trailer, I mean, that stuff ages like milk.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? You got to hurry up, do
Be on top
content
of it.
on it. Yeah, and then put it out there for people to consume. So sometimes it's hard, you know. And then, you know, being a person, if this isn't your full-time thing, if you're not a full-time content creator, because some people I know will quit their job and, you know, dedicate their whole time to content creating. You know, it can be tough to try to balance all that stuff going on and then also do this. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's always good key, though. At least you're putting out content and, you know, trying to work the social media game. TikTok is big right now. Everybody's going to TikTok. That's the new thing. I see you're doing really well on TikTok. That's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I would say that. I mean, try to work all your different avenues, and you know, I'm no expert by any means, you know, and how to do this stuff. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But yeah,
It's honestly it's really difficult. But I've been like lately I've been doing a lot of reading about how to kind of get sort of like more traction with podcasts, and it's super difficult considering it's very oversaturated, you know, considering, like you said, every asshole with a microphone, you know, gets to share their opinion now. But one of the ways to do it really is to build your community, or you know, is through building community, and like obviously podcasts helping podcasts, which is why we have you on. And
yeah,
like I one thing that I think I think people neglect a lot of times is the review. And it's like people leaving reviews, like leaving good reviews or leaving like authentic reviews. And it kind of leads to, you know, obviously your, I don't know, Spotify advertising you. And it gets you a lot of traction. Like I noticed that you guys like to do more like blips of like your content, where you'll tend to be like, oh, we're talking about this. And so like you're like, we have like 1 3-hour podcast. You guys have like 25 minutes, you know, 10 minutes here, you know, so on and so forth. Which I think is probably the smarter way to do things. Yo, August.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? You holding up over
Good,
there?
good. No,
All right.
I had to check something real quick.
Okay,
Mostly,
you look like, what do you mean? Wait, I never accused you of being asleep.
I know what you're thinking. I know.
All right, and then so yeah, something we can talk about later. But lastly, where do you hope the podcast will be in the future? I mean, maybe 5 to 10 years is a long time, so maybe that's kind of scary. But and if you're not sure, you know, and it's just for fun, I think that's a, you know, perfectly acceptable answer too. I mean, it doesn't have to be serious, of course.
you know, I think in 5 to 10 years, wow, that's a long time. Be in my 30s.
It is.
Well, you know, I think it's good to set goals, and I think, you know, obviously anything you do in life, you want to be successful at it, you know, and you know, I've been trying to, you know, set goals for the, you know, the podcast. You know, we had 1,000 followers on Twitter, so I got that. That was good. I hit that goal.
Yeah, that's
I'm
sick.
trying to get 1,000. Trying to get 1,000 on, you know, Instagram. You know, trying to get to 200 on TikTok right now. It's the closest next goal for that.
Yep.
And then with YouTube, try to get, you know, 200 plus subscribers. You know what I mean? Kind of, you know, with that. So, in 5 to 10 years, I mean, you know, just continue to grow with the podcast. I mean, you know, who knows? You know, you could be the biggest podcast, you know, on the planet. You know what I mean? We could be overtaking, you know, the Joe Rogan experience. I don't know.
You could just totally,
you know.
like at that point, you can just deny that you ever talked to us, which is like, it's fantastic, right? You know,
Yeah.
you get so famous, you deny you know any of these people.
We'll be like, we knew him when, and we'll just have like a little
Yeah,
picture
we used
on
to,
the back wall.
we had Josh, or as he's known now, Joe Rogan 2. Like that's our claim to fame. But yeah, no, I definitely, I mean, you never know, but yeah, for sure. With that, I don't know if you have too much like going on today, but did you want to stay with us to do the current events? I mean, we can go until 8 p.m. or we can go after that. I mean, usually this takes a little bit of time, but I mean, if you can't, you can't. I just don't want to. I don't want to hold you here if you can't stay longer. You know what I mean?
No, that's fine. I can probably do some new segments if you want.
All right, yeah, just let me know. But so jumping into things, wait, hold on. But did I miss something else like before? I segued into a different subject. I feel like I dropped or I interrupted you, or something like that. Did that happen, or am I imagining things?
What he's talking about.
Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I'm tired brain. August, did you have any questions for him before we move on?
No. So. Yeah. I mean. So wait. When you said 5 to 10 years, did you say that would put you past your 30s or into your 30s? Because either way, you're probably gonna hurt my feelings.
It put me into my 30s.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Me and Matt are already in our 30s, so we'd be like,
we'll be almost dead.
Yeah, basically, we'd be practically boomers at that age. Like as it is, I already have some like white hairs in here, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's honestly, it's always awesome to see someone that like is, like I just want to make content because I enjoy it and like I want an audience so I can have a community and interact with them. That's super cool to see.
Yeah. I was just gonna. Do you all have a goal there? 5 to 10 years? Thought about that?
Do we have a goal? Not one that we've actually sat down and talked about at the moment. I mean, as like a conjoined like hive mind, I technically think of it as like I look at it as like a numbers game and only a numbers game. And I kind of more or less I just kind of obsess about like how can I do this better, and I look at that as more of a rewarding thing than like a long-term goal, if that makes any sense. Like I actually like I see the things that when I listen to my podcast, and I see the things that I do wrong frequently. So I will get enjoyment out of doing that thing better. You know what I mean? More or less than, because the next time somebody's going to see you, they're like, oh, they may not notice anything. But you may notice, hey, look, I stopped using as many in-between words. Or I didn't say like as much that one podcast. You know what I mean? Because, like, one thing that I do, I hate it. But when I listen to the podcast, I'll be like, and or like, and that's a huge thing. So that's kind of how I look at it, but mostly if I can, I would like to grow our listener base. And that's really, I guess that's my only, I can only look at it short term that way, because if it's not growing, then I can't look past 5 years even, or even 3 years,
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of similar. I think we're still in the kind of like content identity phase where we're still kind of deciding what content we want to make, what kind of content we want to make, how we want to make it, and how to best make it. So we're still in that kind of polishing phase of kind of finding the best way to, be ourselves and make what we consider kind of the best version of our content. At least that's how I feel for me.
Yeah.
And then we can start looking at kind of audience numbers. But yeah, I mean, for me, like I'm not even streaming myself right now. It's just Matt and it's just Quintessence a little bit. I'm just right now solely focused on kind of the podcast. I do a lot of the research per week to find news topics to talk about. But yeah, I mean, for me, I just want to make like it's my first time doing any content creation, so it's really just about making fun things that people want to watch, and then after that, we'll go from there. If it gets big, that's awesome. But for now, it's just about making the best kind of the content. And I mean, same as Matt, like I go back and listen to this. I take notes on like, oh, what I think I should do better. Right now, I have a big note underlined in my brain that says, please interrupt the interviewee less. Because I'm really trying not to.
Yeah.
And that's living rent free in my head right now. I'm so sorry about that. I kept interrupting you when you were like vibing, and it's like, oh.
It's fine.
But yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really, to me, content creation should first and foremost being about making the content you want to watch at the end of the day. Like, in my philosophy, you want to be your biggest fan. So
Yeah.
And until we've kind of 100% dialed that in, I'm not so focused on, getting an audience. An audience would be nice because I'm sure that creates a feedback loop that improves content. But it's not the most important thing to me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think, like, for me, I think most of the time my time is spent, obviously, other than, preparing for the podcast, it's literally spending the time trying to find the people that want to actually listen to that podcast. And that's one of the hardest things, because sometimes, I mean, like, you have to try so many different things until you find something that actually works. And it's not
Throw the pasta at the wall.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily that it's gonna be one specific thing either. It's you might have to find something else that works, and then use that as a vehicle to be like, yo, check this out as well. But yeah. Anyway, let's delve into current events. Did everybody check out the Black Adam trailer?
We talked about that Friday on
sick.
the
pod. So what did you guys think?
I think most of us was pretty lukewarm on it. A lot of us just thought it was looking like a typical kind of Dwayne Johnson movie, and it seems like Dwayne Johnson, he's the biggest thing about this movie, and it seems like I think him being as big of a star as he is now, his image is maybe going to come first before the movie.
Sure.
And it's in contrast to what you see like with John Cena when he did like something like Peacemaker, where he really put himself all out there in all aspects, I think, with that role. And The Rock, I mean, even though this movie is about a villain, even though I guess in the comics now Black Adam is more of an anti-hero now. He's not really a straight villain like he used to be. That's probably, it's going to be more, he's just going to be pretty much a straight hero because The Rock is very protective of his image and everything like that. But I was the person who did say that, one positive is I like the JSA. I like the way they look, like Atom Smasher and Dr. Fate and Hawkman. I do like the way those characters look.
I think they're actually doing something. They're doing something right. DC's doing something right. They're actually bringing in other characters around the story of one character, and they're slowly doing a good job at building a world. Are they going to do it 10 years late? Absolutely. But it's going to happen. And, you're eventually going to have a DC universe that you're going to enjoy.
You say that, but then we haven't seen how the new Flash movie is going to end. So they get
obviously it's with a different Flash.
Well, that too, goddamn. Ezra Miller, we hardly knew ye. Or they, I don't know. But yeah, no, I don't know how to. Yeah, point is yeah. I mean, he goes by they them pronouns, but yeah, it's so frustrating to like, and it's not even just all the creative side. Like it's frustrating. It was frustrating to watch DC slip and fall so many times in just making their individual movies. But it's even more frustrating watching all the behind the scenes stuff, like with their new merger and stuff like that. And it's like, cool. So are we gonna reset everything again? Like it puts even more up in the air. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. DC's just been a mess, and it's sad. It's sad to see that because they have so many great properties. But I mean, I enjoyed the new Batman. It's not in the other DC universe, but I enjoyed it.
Okay, we'll get to that.
But
I don't want. Yeah,
with regards to Black Adam, honestly, my concerns were the exact same one that Afternoon Tune voiced. Like, I would have liked to see it be a more edgy anti-hero on the line of good guy, bad guy movie. And I think The Rock
see that.
I know that's what I wanted to see because that's how Black Adam is written as a character. But I mean, The Rock is far too protective of his image to let himself be a bad guy in really any capacity.
Almost. Well, like as soon as he's like, well, good guys don't kill people, and he's like, well, I do, and I'm like, no, please don't do this.
But I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a I think a serious anti-hero would just be like, It wouldn't just be a dumb line like that. He'd just be like, okay, well, that doesn't matter to me. Like, it just seemed more cringe than like, it seemed very Deadpool-y, where it's just like, it's so funny. I'm a hero that, is willing to cross the line and do stuff. And it's like, that's not really Black Adam. Black Adam is just like a force of nature. He just does what the fuck he thinks is right.
He does whatever he wants, and he murks people.
Yeah, and it's like, I think they wrote this movie to be a more a vehicle for The Rock than a vehicle for The Rock to play Black Adam, as he's written in the comics.
Not to mention, this is they're gonna somehow, they have to tie in Shazam, because it is he is Shazam's like he's Shazam's he's
the Shazam before Shazam.
No, well, yes, but he's also Shazam's like villain. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's like his Lex Luthor.
Kind of. It's kind of. They have an antagonistic relationship, but I don't think it's the same as the Lex Luthor relationship.
Right. I mean, obviously they also have the same power source and all of that, but yeah, I think also like I think they did a really good job at like obviously casting Dr. Fate. Is it Dr. Fate?
Yeah.
Dr. Fate, Doctor Strange. I think Dr. Fate probably came first, but whatever.
Yep, he did.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good movie. I hope to see them do a little bit more with it. I want to see them like somehow tied into like Shazam 2 somehow, and be like,
Probably
well, this is gonna happen during Shazam 2, and it's like, fuck yeah, I'm down with that. Let's go. But yeah, man, I'm kind of excited for it, but I also don't want to see Dwayne Johnson be an edgelord, but I think it's just fated to be so.
That's how Black Adam's written, though. So, like, I don't want him to seem to be a cringy edgelord, but he's got to be a little edgy.
I mean, I think he can pull it off, like with his pro wrestling background, but we'll see. Anyway, we should move on. Anybody check out the Prey trailer? I'm actually kind of excited for this. I don't know if anybody.
Yeah, that's another trailer we talked about Friday. Yeah, I mean, I was mainly kind of interested in this movie because of who the director is. The director, Dan Trachtenberg, he did 10 Cloverfield Lane. I'm a big fan of that movie. He's also done some episodes of TV. He did, I think, some episodes of Black Mirror that were very good. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to see how they do it, and then also the reveal that this movie is going to be in that natural, also native language. So it's going to be two movies. Of one, you can watch it where it is in English, and then you can watch it where it is in Kamochi, the native language that they speak in the movie. So you can watch just both. You can watch either version of that, which I think is pretty nice. The lead actress of it, I like her. I just realized she's the lead actress from Legion, well, not the lead actress of that show, but she's one of the actors in that show of Legion, and Legion was on FX. It was based on the character from the comics, from the X-Men comics.
She's a scream queen, right? She's also in X as well, right? Am I not mistaken?
No, she's not in X.
Oh, she's not the camera girl from X?
No, that's Jenna Ortega.
Okay, I was gonna say like she's like if she's in this, she's had one hell of a year. Like, but I think she has had a pretty good year. But either way,
yeah. Also, this concept, there was a fan film that somebody did that predates this called Warrior, which is the exact same concept. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of thing where the predator comes and attacks natives and everything like that. So I was wondering what's going to happen there if the guy who made that fan film is going to maybe do something. But yeah, I am looking forward to the movie though, and yeah.
It could also be really boring, but I don't necessarily know if I want to see the predator fight native people, or like I don't know. I don't know what there is to like. I don't know if I judge it off of like the Predator, like the original Predator, but I don't know. That movie's kind of okay, but
so I think it makes sense with the sole exception of like if how you think of the Predators as a culture would be like, well, listen, we're in it for the sport of the hunt.
I meant to mention something.
as someone who's in for the sport of the hunt, they're gonna dumb down their technology usage to the level of the enemy they're hunting,
right?
Which means it could be a fairer fight.
Most dangerous game type shit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the Predators are all about. So no, I think it could be cool. I'm also really excited about this. I think there was another thing that they talked about doing. I can't remember if it was a video game or movie, but they haven't gone through and done yet. Where they were gonna have another period piece with the Predators, but like set in the Middle Ages. So like the Predators were going up against like knights, and I'm like, yo, I'd be into that too.
Again, I don't
So
think like there's no to me. It's like at the end of the day, there's gonna be no match whatsoever. But I mean, okay, so this is heavily gonna be inspired by one of the Predator comics, where the Predator winds up giving. Okay, this is what I think is gonna happen. Does anybody want to hear what I think is gonna happen?
Sure.
Okay, here's what I'm like. It's going to be heavily inspired by one of the comics where the Predator comes to Earth and basically gives one of a female the Predator technology, and she actually becomes an honorary Predator. So I think that's what's going to wind up happening. They're like the Predator somehow is going to die, and he's going to pass on his equipment to her. And I think they kind of did that in one like Alien
First
AVP.
Predator. Yeah.
AVP 1 or 2.
I can't remember which one. I want to say 2, but I can't remember which one.
But this one is even closer to that source material. I wouldn't be surprised because, you know, there's one thing that like Predator fans love. It's like, you know, a lot of Predator fans love the comics. Like I think a lot of like the Predator fans, like real super fans, are like the people that actually like got into it because of the movie and then the comic books. So, yeah, I mean, that's honestly what I want to see, and that's the only reason I'm interested in this, because I want to see how he dies, what she does with that technology, why she needs it, and is she going to like have some kind of form of immortality or something like that? Is she going to wind up going to other planets and fighting other aliens? I don't know. I think that would be really cool.
That would be really cool.
Well, yeah,
She teaches the Predators how to use bows and stuff. Like that would be cool.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
exactly.
guess my other random thought slash frustration with this is that I love this concept. I love everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the title. And the only reason I don't love the title is like, does that mean we're never gonna get a movie based on like the Prey video game? Because like both of the Prey video games were awesome. Like the original like Xbox one with like the Native Americans being abducted by aliens, and then the new one on the space station with like the aliens that were mimics. Like I think both of those could make awesome movies, and like I don't know if we'll get one now.
August, I think we both know that the Alien or Predator series does not care what you think about its titles.
This is true.
It loves to be problematic with that.
To be honest.
Yeah, that too. But I honestly think that this is gonna try to set up a good plot, and it does look like it's high quality. Like you said, it looks like it has a good director, and I mean, I think it's gonna make an honest try at restarting the Predator, maybe even Alien universe.
Now, is this gonna be a show or a mini? Is this gonna be a miniseries or a movie? I can't remember.
I don't think it said. I actually like egged out of the page, so.
I think it's a movie. I want to say.
I hope it's a movie. I'd rather have it be a movie. I don't want. I don't want a 6-part TV show of this. I don't think it needs.
I mean, if anything, like a small plot like this could be a 6-part episode, but a movie works too.
Yeah, I don't know if also I'm super curious to see how artsy they're gonna get, and like what if they just wind up having no subtitles whatsoever? Like, wouldn't that hurt the movie? I think
subtitles. The Native American language one or native language. I don't know if it's.
I even think that maybe if it has subtitles, it might hurt the movie too. But
I think that would be. I don't know. I think that would make it kind of, you know, more. I don't want to say artistic, but it would kind of make it more, you know, just being in this world and kind of more immerse you, and you really
more immersive. Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, I could see that too for like for the movie fan, but I'm thinking of like the guy Joe Schmo's like going to the movies on a Friday, and he just wants to drink some beer.
They'll make an English one. They'll make an English one that you can just understand in English. So
I mean, yeah, the English cut, the Snyder cut of the movie. All right, so Joker 2 is in the works. Electric Boogaloo. I'm actually curious to see what you guys think of the original Joker movie, and to see if it needs a sequel. I don't think it does, personally.
I don't think it does either. I'm right there with you. I think that ends in a way that it's like I am entirely happy with this not having a sequel, because I think any sequel they make is gonna kind of ruin the kind of eerie feeling you have at the end of this, where you're just like, okay, that what happened wasn't good. Like, I get that there's a revolution now, but what happened at the end wasn't great. But I loved that kind of like ambivalent ending of the original Joker. So like, I think any follow up on this would kind of ruin that mystique. Kind of like I think a follow up on District 9 ruins kind of the concept of District 9, because it, like, the feeling it leaves you at the end of the
Both
movie
of them, you
is
mean?
part of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll watch it when it comes out, of course, and I hope it's good. But I don't think it needs a sequel.
I got a theory on what they're gonna do. I think they're gonna tie it into the Pattinson universe.
Really?
I do. I really do, because I think with the success of Batman, Patman,
Yep.
the Patman, I think that they're like, okay, well, we're gonna start making this movie, and they both have similar like art styles. It's, you know, at least to me, when last time I watched it, I could very easily see both of them fit into the world, though they both look like they're in two different time periods. So
Yeah, that one I'm pretty sure is well established to be either the late 80s or early 90s. I want to say it's the late 80s is the Joker.
I mean, let's call Joker what it is. It's basically Taxi Driver 2. Or, you know what I mean? And like it literally rips off the plot of Taxi Driver. A lot of it. I don't know, not all of it. I mean, I don't think there's a revolution in that movie. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think the Joker needs a sequel. If it was a standalone movie, I think it would be fine by itself. I mean, as long as it doesn't, like, you know, go down the Rocky 3 route of, you know, like Rocky 1 is a serious movie, Rocky 2 is like, you know, semi-serious, and then all of a sudden it just becomes Rocky 4. It's like fucking clown shoes. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Rocky 4 is great, but it's not like Mr. T shows up, you know? I don't know, what do you think? What do you think, Josh?
I wasn't really big on the first Joker movie myself.
I didn't like it either.
I thought Joaquin's Phoenix performance was good, and some other kind of performance, but overall, I didn't really love the movie myself. And I know they came into the first one going like, "Hey, this is going to be standalone. This is, you know, you're not going to do a sequel." And then it made $1 billion, and then they're like, "Oh, well, maybe we got another idea in the pot, you know, like let's come up with one."
Yeah.
Them doing a sequel, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll watch it, of course. You know, we got to review it for the pod. I'm not particularly that excited for it because I wasn't really that big on the first one. But I'm interested to kind of see what they do, because, you know, there's not really many movies where you really are following a villain. So now that the Joker is in his full villain mode, you know, you know, you see some of these movies that say they're about the villain, but they turn them into anti-heroes. And even in the first Joker, he's very sympathetic. So it'll be interesting to see.
Don't Breathe 2. Sorry.
Yeah, that was one. Yeah, Don't Breathe 2 was one where they. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of I don't think it'll tie into the Batman, because I know Barry Keoghan is already the Joker. I guess maybe they'll have to get rid of him as the Joker in the Matt Reeves Batman universe. But
man,
yeah.
that's Singer at the end. I didn't care for it.
I can entirely understand why they deleted the Joker scene, and I honestly wish they should have deleted it out of existence or ever letting it see the light of day.
You don't.
It was unfucking necessary.
You don't have to have a Batman movie or series or trilogy with the Joker in it.
Yes,
he
100%
has
agree.
Plenty of villains. You don't have to have it. Everybody that's played the Joker is great. They don't have to retread this territory. But they really want that.
He was only okay to bad.
I mean, I honestly don't even consider him the Joker, but I mean that I forgot about him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep, I
forgot about him. Yeah, I mean he's morbed to me now.
He is more. Yeah, he is. He's fully morbed. But no, it's so like if they do do some weird Joker shit where they tie it into Matt Reeves' Batman. I mean, there's a story in the comics called the Joker Wars, where like after it's already been revealed that the Joker has been multiple people, you find out that there was a beef between the Jokers and they had a fight for Joker supremacy.
That sounds lame as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
So they could try doing something like that.
Ah.
Where there's been multiple Jokers, or there was a Joker War, and Barry Keoghan's Joker won. I don't know. It all sounds kind of weird.
But I mean, you never know with the Flashpoint, or Flash 2, or Flash 1, whatever. They could somehow decide to be like, well, we're gonna tie it in anyway.
But yeah, I would say that the biggest obvious thing to learn about this is that, I mean, other than studios lie, and everything is decided based on money, is that we learned that everything is decided based on money, and some movies are victims of their own success. So like, it's even like, I guess I just said the same thing over again, but only for emphasis, in that like every decision is based on money. Like even things that like, yeah, that probably didn't need to make a sequel to it, they're going to make a sequel to it because, again, they can't turn down the chance at another $1 billion. Even if there's no shot they're going to make another $1 billion again.
Like, think about it.
They might be close to it, and they'll be happy with that. So,
like Harley Quinn, like they gave Harley Quinn so many chances to be like that one character. They're like, wow, she's really great as Harley Quinn. Let's just keep fucking doing it until people love her. I mean, people love her, but I mean, they're like none of her movies make money, so I don't know.
Honestly, the biggest frustration is that like a movie is only as good as its script. I think that's kind of been the theme we've been repeating at the beginning of this podcast. And Birds of Prey was not a good script.
A lot of people like that movie, but I thought it sucked. Yeah,
I thought there were parts of that movie that were good. The person who played Huntress was great. She was fun.
I just have a crush on her, so it doesn't matter what she plays.
What they did to Cassandra Cain, I will never forgive them for. Because Cassandra Cain is literally a ninja trained by the best member of League of Assassins, not a street urchin kid who can fight. Like I don't even. That's two entire realms of skill.
That movie felt like it wanted to be too many different things.
Yeah, that movie was all over the fucking place. But yeah, it just wasn't that good a movie, and it frustrates me because Margot Robbie is great as Harley Quinn, and she's great in an ensemble cast where she gets to play off other characters. But if you're gonna write a movie that's just her, it has to be really, really good. They should have just honestly just gone the Harley Quinn Poison Ivy route, where they just had a movie where she meets someone new, and you know, they have an antagonistic relationship, then they fall in love, and they commit crimes together. Like, there's so many other things they could have done. I don't know. Just what they did wasn't good.
Imagine how angry people would be.
The Harley Quinn show is great. Like her animated show with Kaylee Cuoco, that's great. That's super enjoyable. So, I mean, there are ways to make Harley Quinn great on her own focused media, but Birds of Prey was not it. And it's just frustrating because, again, like most Hollywood scripts, they spend money everywhere but the script. The special effects are amazing. The actors have huge salaries. Everything is on point and buttoned up except the actual story and dialogue. And you're just like, but why? Because this is what's going to make it bad, though. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
So, I don't know. This question is not for me. But the Scrubs cast is in for a revival. Is anybody interested in seeing that happen? I don't think it needs to happen. We're in the nostalgia phase of everything that was good when we were kids.
Yeah, and there's some things that don't need to get made again. I think Scrubs might be one of those. Although I'm saying the opposite thing about that '90s show. I want to see that '90s show. I don't know if I want to see more Scrubs.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's something about that '70s show where it's like they had a shitty last season, but it's not as unforgivable as Scrubs last season. I don't know what it is. I don't know why that is the way it is, but it's how it feels. I don't know. What
is going on with Danny Masterson? What's going on with him?
He's in jail. jail.
I think he had like some like accusations.
Sexual assault charges. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's sexual assault allegations. Yeah, he went. Pretty sure he's either in jail or going to jail.
Yeah,
Oh.
he got
Yeah.
kicked off like all the shows he was on.
Yeah.
And he's not coming back for
The 90s.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not going to be in Rush Hour 2.
He's not gonna be right.
You asked me what do I think about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really watched Scrubs. I never was a Scrubs guy. I've seen maybe half of some episodes or maybe a little bit here and there, but yeah, I've never really been big into Scrubs myself. I think Zach Braff and his name is Donald Faison.
Yep.
I think they got good chemistry though, and I would like seeing them. And I get somewhat maybe the appeal of the show. Maybe if I sat down and watch it, I get maybe some of the appeal of it. Yeah, I mean, as far as revivals go, I mean, it could go either way. I mean, I think there's a lot of good examples of them. I think there's a lot of bad examples of them. Cobra Kai, I think, good revival. Proud Family, when they brought that back, I think that was a good revival. I don't know if you count Top Gun Maverick as like a revival. I don't know if you count that. I mean, it's a sequel.
I mean, it could be a revival sequel.
Yeah.
I mean,
Requel.
Yeah.
Well, requel is a new word now.
Yeah. And I thought that was one of the best movies of the year so far. So, yeah. So it could go either way. You know what I mean? Scrubs was on for what, 9 seasons?
I think it was like only 6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah.
But I mean, people love that show. A lot of people I know freaking like it's almost like The Office. I mean, I honestly think The Office is pretty overrated, but I just want to I think it's super overrated. Boy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but I think it's still good. I think there are genre-defining sitcoms, and I think The Office was one of them. Unfortunately,
I think The Office sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that's a hot take. Okay. I don't think it sucks. I think it's
it sucks. Yeah.
It's overrated. I 100% agree it's overrated, but I don't think it sucks. I never got super into it, but I don't want to say it's bad. I just never got into it. I liked Parks and Rec more.
I'm sorry, I've never sat down and watched an episode of The Office and laughed ever.
Really?
Yeah, I've never thought anything on The Office was funny.
How many episodes have you seen? I mean, there's a lot of episodes.
My family was in love with The Office. They watched every episode.
Okay.
And I just would sit down and I would try, and I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry, it's just not for me. It's just not for me. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying it's not for me.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the Resident Evil trailer? Is anybody here Resident Evil fans besides me?
I watched the teaser trailer. I never got around to actually watching the new full trailer they put out. I know Netflix had its like Geek Week. I know a lot about it just because it's been talked about on Double Toasted and a bunch of other places. Who's the black guy who's like bald who's in it?
Lance Reddick.
Lance Reddick. I love Lance Reddick. I love him in everything he's in. He's great.
Yeah.
However, I have heard the script for the show is not great, so
the show
I will probably watch it for Lance Reddick. And I'll give it my own opinion. But yeah, it's just like even if it's bad, as long as a lot of zombies go explodey,
no,
I'll have fun.
Nope. I'm sorry. This is not okay.
Okay.
Though they look like they brought back one character, which is the lady from Resident Evil 5. If anybody knows what the hell I'm talking about.
No, I don't. Which one's 5? Is that the Shiva Alomar one, or is that the one after that?
That's the Shiva Alomar one. There's a woman who is in it. She runs the corporation that created the
Umbrella.
It may not. I don't think it's Umbrella. But anyway, I think she might be in the movie. I'm not in there. Can anyone tell me this needs to be a Resident Evil movie? Can anyone tell me that it needs to be one? Like,
I don't even understand why. So are we supposed? Is Are we supposed to understand that Wesker was always a black man, or did he get transported into the body of a black man? Because I need to know at this point.
Well, that's
It's
not
actually frustrating.
Wait, that's not Wesker though, is it?
Yeah, let's write it because Wesker in this.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Albert Wesker? Wait. This is what the fuck? What?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That doesn't. Okay, so now
Yes.
it makes even less sense because
No, I don't think it was ever supposed to make sense.
look, first of all, this is like they live in a post-apocalyptic world where like all the shit's already happened, like and then this last stand of like humanity is in this one dome, right? So if you're going by Resident Evil, Wesker is long dead, and everyone that was ever in the games previously is also probably dead or doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Hey, bro, look behind you. I think I see a Netflix ninja. He's gonna come fucking kill you for talking about the plot because it's not supposed to make sense,
dude. What are they doing to me? Like, why is this like? Are you? Yeah, okay. I was like willing. Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't even care. I don't even care. I just like it. Just like the fact that none of this makes sense. I don't understand why we can't.
It's supposed to. I don't think it's supposed
anyway,
to.
my bad.
Yeah. So, like, there was a long segment on this exact same topic on Castle Super Beast, where he was talking about his understanding of the script, and he was like, "So the problem with this show is that it's trying to stick too hard to Resident Evil canon."
What are you talking about?
Doesn't make sense in the first place because Resident Evil doesn't stick to its own canon. But even further than that, this takes place after Wesker canonically died in a volcano.
Yeah, he's dead.
So he is now back as a black man. And you just gotta roll with it, baby.
That's how he became black. He got burnt up from the volcano. That's how he got black.
Dude, I don't understand.
Oh, and he's also now a family man too. He's got 2 kids.
Well, he has kids, and so first of all, you say that the Resident Evil plot doesn't make sense, but it does. I just don't think you know the plot of Resident Evil.
No, with like all the shit that happens, like Revelations and the other ones. The Resident Evil plot of all of the games combined is so loosely threaded together at best.
Okay, so it might be at some points loosely. But it is all connected. It makes sense. It doesn't not make sense. I think look, my friend, this is not Kingdom Hearts, okay? It's not Kingdom Hearts, okay?
You're right. The one thing they haven't done yet is time travel.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait till this is over.
Have you seen Resident Evil 8? I mean, they're getting there.
Yeah, I know, right? Tell me about it.
Wasn't in the Resident Evil movie that was last year? So that was Wesker in that too, right? The guy who was in that movie, the villain. Believe
it or not, I haven't seen Welcome to Raccoon City yet. The only thing I know is that it's probably the closest we're ever going to get to the actual original story. Other than the Paul W.S. Anderson movies, I think that's the director.
Yep.
I think he basically loosely based it off of that, but then also ironically, the Resident Evil 4 took inspiration from his movies, and that's why Leon becomes kind of like a superhero in certain parts where he gets like super strength, or Chris punches a boulder in Resident Evil 5. Boulder punching Chris Redfield, which they actually start to reference themselves in like later games. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this is weird. Why are they doing this? This doesn't have to be Resident Evil. This could be anything, and then people wouldn't have a problem with it. But it's like it's almost like
that's modern Hollywood. They want the brand. Like they want the brand for the pre-installed fans. That's you can't really explain it to me better than that.
Also, is Albert Wesker supposed to be a scientist in this? Because he was never a scientist. He was always a policeman that just did deals with scientists, and then they cloned him. First of all, the Albert Wesker you see in later games isn't even the original Albert Wesker. That's a clone. they basically cloned him, and then he just like he kind of became a giant lab experiment. But
don't you find out his sister is like a genius scientist too? The Resident Evil canon just gets more anime every new game. Bro.
Alex Wesker. That's She is a villain in the Revelations games, but those are sort of more of almost a spin-off than they are. They're not necessarily the main line. I don't think. I could be wrong about that. I mean, they're not numbered. They're Revelations, so they're spin-off.
Yep. Resident Evil is an anime at this point, bruh.
I mean, I think it always was, but I mean, they're really at this point like.
So I'm gonna watch this, but if it gets bad reviews, I want it to be so bad it's funny. If it's good, I want to paradoxically sit there and stare. I'm like, wow, how did they turn this train wreck around?
If
like,
you want,
I just don't want it to be mid. If it's mid, I'll be sad. If it's laughably bad, I'll be happy. If it's really good for some unknown reason, I'll be happy. If it's just mid, I'll be just, why? Why was this made?
Didn't they actually say that it's the T virus too in this too? Like, I think they actually quote and say, "Oh, it's the T virus," which also doesn't make sense because as the series moves on, the virus.
So you're asking things to make sense. Don't ask things to make sense. That's.
You're right. I'm sorry, but they also like none of these zombies
let's
exist anymore.
Move on.
Anyway, I'm sorry, guys.
Summer Games Fest.
I'm sorry.
We're not making progress.
Anyway, I'm just look. I'm angry.
All
right.
So as someone who only even just kind of tangentially enjoys Resident Evil, like I'm never going to be a big Resident Evil fan as you. I get that. I also feel bad, but this is the reality we live in. Things get ripped by Hollywood to make money that never should have been stolen because they didn't give a shit about it when they stole it.
Man, Josh, you look so uncomfortable there, like moving your phone around.
Yeah, do you want to move back to your computer? We can wait like a minute.
We can wait.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good.
Let's go tough it up.
So yeah, let's move on to the Summer Games Fest list or whatever.
Real quick, does anybody here a Castlevania fan?
I really liked the anime series they did on Netflix. I thought that was amazing.
Did you see the trailer for Nocturne?
Is it like a full trailer or was it like just a 40-second
teaser? Yep.
Yeah, I saw that.
So yeah, it looks like they're actually finally deciding to continue Castlevania. So this will be a sequel.
I mean, they said they would. They said they would. They said they weren't going to do any more Trevor, and they're moving on to Richter. Which is what this new one is about. Which I think is cool, but I'm also sad because I really like Trevor. So,
well, I think Richter is actually Trevor's like grandson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Oh no, he's not. He's his son, I think, in the show. But yeah, so it's gonna be good, man. The Castlevania series, I don't think even hits. It doesn't even hit peak until like Castlevania 4, and then I think. Mostly between this, so this is going to connect to what am I thinking
Symphony of the Night?
Symphony of the Night. That's where we're going. We're going to Symphony of the Night. And I mean, I think this is literally the prequel to Symphony of the Night. So we're about to hit peak Castlevania.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna ask. So is Simon after Richter, or because I know some people were saying why didn't they do Simon? So is Simon.
Simon is like he's before Richter.
Okay.
But after Trevor or before Trevor?
So it's Simon, Trevor, Richter, and then there's like somebody. There's like a few people I want to say before, like Simon, and then it's like it jumps around, and then. And then
Castlevania gets weird. It does like 100-year time skip and a bunch of other random things.
Yeah, like it does. There's a lot of time skips.
I'm not even sure if it's linear. I think there are honestly like 3 branching timelines.
They're all the same timeline.
Pretty sure there weren't because there's some like weird time travel shit that happens. Like don't they find out that the castle can move in time or something like that?
So it's Leon Belmont. Then it's Trevor. And then there's okay, that doesn't count. That's not. Then there's Christopher Belmont, Simon, Just, I don't think. Well, I thought Just wasn't okay. So I guess Just is canon. So that's the thing. It's like there are certain stories that are not canon to the storyline, and
This is true.
then there are also storylines that aren't video games that take place. So I don't know. It gets murky if you're not heavy into the reading. Anyway, let's move on to did you guys?
That looks cool.
I'm excited.
One of the things I will say about it is I don't understand how Dracula is supposed to be evil again, because he literally got everything he could ever want back at the end. Like, he got his wife back at the end of the regular show. I mean,
Well,
yes, that's kind of a spoiler. So I'm like, are they going to kill his wife again? I don't understand why he's going to be evil again.
So the thing is that Dracula is constantly being resurrected by people who are like part of a cult, or you know, for whatever reason, or there are people that want to steal Dracula's power. So I don't want to tell you there's a plot point in the upcoming show, or at least in the game that they'll probably use, that will explain all of that. So anyway, did you guys see that that Nintendo confirms the release of a new Switch console?
I did not see that.
So I actually added this kind of last minute, but Nintendo confirms the release of a new a Nintendo Switch console to counter hacking of the targeted system. They're only 5 years late to this problem, but I'm glad they're fixing it now that the Switch is at the end of its life.
I'm just happy because it means if they do release a new one and it's actually like a Switch 2, like, it's worth buying. Like, I can go back and hack my current Switch. Hey.
Well, yeah, I think the implication is that they're gonna make everyone's hoping that they're gonna make a Switch Pro, but I think the idea is they're making it because you know how people had figured out a way to hack Switches. I think the team Execution is the name. The people that invented the hacking technology, they're being sued by Nintendo currently.
Yeah, of course.
So the whole implication is that that's happening.
Yeah. What do you all think of, like, the I think this is a little off topic, but as far as like if the Switch 2 could compete with these what was it called, the handheld one,
the Steam Deck?
The Steam Deck.
It's not going to.
Yeah, it's not going to. Nintendo is the only company that literally, like, refuses not to take a loss on hardware. And yeah, I mean, that shows because they always go with the cheapest possible hardware, even if they're going to pay by it not being able to play anything of the current generation. So yeah, the Steam Deck, I don't even understand if Valve is making money on it. Like, it's literally, you can play anything on that thing. Yeah,
I don't think the Steam Deck is like gonna make. It's never gonna make Switch numbers, but it's weird. I don't think the only people that are very like hardcore video game people are gonna buy a Steam Deck even. So
I don't know. I think a lot of people are gonna buy decks once they find out they can do everything on it. Like, I think this was the smartest thing Steam / Valve possibly could have done, is try to insert themselves into the handheld market. Because, like, a lot of people have a lot bigger Steam libraries than they have Switch libraries. I'm another one of those people. And the idea to be able to take any of my Steam libraries around without actually having to take my laptop around, that's awesome.
I will say,
yeah.
I will say my big gripe with the Steam Deck is that it's chunky. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen one, but it's pretty big. And hold on, let me.
Oh, you got one.
I got one. Yeah.
I wanted to get one, but I don't know. I was like, I barely play my Switch, so I'm like, I know I'm not going to play the Steam Deck. But I was interested to get one. But
here's my thing. Here's my problem, okay? Is that here's the Steam Deck, right? Okay, look at how big this thing is, okay? Yeah. I'm supposed to fit this where
you gotta have a holster.
Like, I got this carrying case, right? But if I go to work, right?
Yeah.
Where am I gonna put this? Like,
you gotta
have a backpack. I gotta have a backpack, right? But then I also have a laptop. Well, then why would I take this when I could just take a lap? You know what I mean? So kind of like, but then again, okay, I also have my Game Boy Advance, right? that I can put in my pocket. And then I can just like walk around, stop, turn it on, turn it off. You know what I mean? And so like I kind of get conflicted at what I should do.
You ever seen those like cross the chest like baby holding slings? That's all you need. Just have one of those. Just put the deck
like
in
a fanny
there.
pack, like one
Yeah, or just like just some type of like you know like how they have the
I could just carry
the
it
body
like
holsters.
say like right here, like a baby. Like I
just have one of those. Yeah. I wouldn't look weird at all.
I'm extremely afraid of people stealing it as well. Like
I would be too. It's like a $500 piece of hardware.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, why would I want to take it anywhere? Because people are going to be like, oh, what the hell is that? I was like, oh, it's the new Steam Deck. Look it up. Oh, taking that.
Yeah, I know. It's for real.
Do you have the analog pocket or?
No, I don't have an analog pocket, unfortunately. Those were like outsold by the time I ever got a chance. But this guy here, if you make a custom Game Boy Advance, this has a like an IPS screen on it. So it has a light up screen, and then you can get an SD loader cart. So you could load all your backups onto an SD card. So then, you could just turn it on. It's got save states too, built into it. That's pretty much what I do, man. That's why I've been going through like Mega Man 02 in my spare time. Just stop, turn it on, go. Speaking of Game Boy Advance, did you guys see that people are adding Rollback NetPlay to the Game Boy Advance game from basically Mega Man Battle Network?
Okay. That's interesting.
So yeah, I was one of the ones who found this story out in the wild. The Battle Network games have always been talked about because it is a not even ATB, like it's a real-time tactical action game, which is just a super weird combo, but it comes out awesome. Like it's just this weird combination of like tactical card builder and action at the same time. It asks you to multitask while doing all these things, but it's just a really, really cool and unique game design. People are sad that it never really came back. It was kind of a product of its time on the GBA. Some indie fans made a game called something Eden, I can't remember, recently that was a lot like it, heavily inspired by the Battle Network games, and did pretty good numbers. So I think people are kind of excited to see the Battle Network franchise come back in general. And I think the idea that we're starting to get rollback on all these old games, especially ones that have multiplayer, are super cool. Like I'd love to be able to play a lot of these games that you could only ever play by having like the hardware and the link cable, and you have to be like 2 feet away from your friend. You can now play online with like really high latency or really low latency gameplay. So
Josh, are you?
Yeah, I just think it's a cool idea.
Are you familiar with Rollback? I mean, just out of curiosity, I don't know if you're familiar with this.
Like Rollback netcode or?
Yeah. Okay. Because obviously if you didn't know what Rollback was, it might be hard to follow what we're talking about. But yeah, I'm personally hoping that I've never played Mega Man. I didn't even know Mega Man Battle Network had a versus mode. So I'd be curious to see how this plays. Like maybe we could do a stream on it when it comes out. I would be totally down.
I've been meaning to download more emulators for a while. Like I'm still trying to get into Fight Cage. So
speaking of which, I will say this, that I have played the Steam Deck. Like I had it in my car. And I played through all of Budokai 2, like just sitting down in my car, like when I ever had time. And it was pretty cool, man, just being able to play PS2 games in a handheld. Like I've never been able to do that before. So it's pretty dope. But like I said, only real downside is it's chunky. But yeah, I am totally down to see more rollback games on the Game Boy Advance, because a lot of those games have been neglected for, like, I mean, I haven't, a lot of those games I never got to play multiplayer, or, I don't think a lot of people did. I mean, I didn't have too many friends that had like a GBA that wasn't Pokemon, that I wasn't, I wasn't versing.
Did any of you guys ever play the Legend of Zelda like Four Swords game of that time that linked to like the GameCube and the Game Boy Advances.
Yep.
Like, that was a cool multiplayer game. There was Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which was super awesome. Like, it'd be so awesome to have the ability to play those again.
Yo, let me tell you this. I would love Crystal Chronicles. You just take out that lantern element, and I'll be fine with it. There you go. Whoever invented the lantern, someone having to carry the lantern, is a fucking idiot. Yeah. I'm just saying. I hate that person, and they should die.
Well, because that one friend you didn't like was just nominated to be Lantern Bitch, and it sucked because they got to do none of the fighting.
And you don't get any of the items.
Yep.
You have to literally take turn. I don't understand who thought that was a good idea. Anyway, because then what happens is you have that one friend who's the Lantern Bitch, and then he just starts refusing to play.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Well, I'm not gonna do it."
It was like when back in old MMOs where they're like, like some cool girl wants to get in the game, learn the game, same as everyone else. And they're like, yeah, let's make her the healer. And then as soon as she wants to attack, it's just like, no attack, only heal. And it's like, well, I'm not going to fucking play the game if I do this one ultra repetitive thing over and over again. Like, I want to play the game, same as you guys. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Super lame.
But yeah, no, I'd be totally down with this. And I'm not going to lie, I've thought about, because I have an SP as well, I've thought about buying a link cable. And then just buying another SD loader so I can play games with people. But yeah, anyway.
Summer Games Fest? What happened?
Actually, yeah, okay, whoa, yeah, that's right. We're at Summer Games Fest. I don't know if you had a chance to look at this, Josh, but there was a lot that was announced. To read off the list, The Last of Us remake has officially...
Yep, heard about that.
Yeah, the remake after the remake is arriving September on PS5 PC version. That was announced. As well as The Last of Us multiplayer. That's going to have its own like side quests and story. Guile is coming to Street Fighter 6.
Heard about that.
Aliens Dark Descent. So they're actually bringing they're making an Alien game, which I didn't look at it. I'm not sure what it is. And then they had a look at the Last of Us HBO show, Callisto Protocol. I think we looked at that like last week as well. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Wait, are they just releasing Modern Warfare 2 on modern consoles or something?
Yeah, it's just like what they did with Modern Warfare 1. It's a remake. It's got maybe loosely the same story, but it's not.
Why?
It's not the same game,
dude. Why? They're just slapping a name onto a call. It doesn't matter, okay? Yeah. Like, what are we doing with Call of Duty, dude?
Yeah. We've explained this. It's all because of money. It's like, hey, that thing that you liked from 15 years ago, we're doing it again, but it's slightly different. But it's basically the same, so you pay full price for it.
Yeah, it's like when they remade GoldenEye, and it was like, this really isn't GoldenEye, but they just put GoldenEye on it.
That's how I feel about Resident Evil 4. It's like, like you guys did so well in the Resident Evil 2 remake, but the Resident Evil 4 is still super fucking playable. So it's like, do I want a remake of that? Sure, I'll take it if it's good, but the other game that was like only 15 years old is great also. I don't...
So...
Why?
Actually, real quick, I don't know. Do you like Resident Evil 4, Josh? Are you a Resident Evil fan at all?
I've played some of the games. I wouldn't say I'm like a big fan of the series myself. My co-host Dusk, I talk with him about Resident Evil stuff. We're planning on finishing the RE2 remake together because I haven't finished that one. So he's a big fan of the stuff, but I'm just a casual guy of Resident Evil myself.
So with 4. Man, they have all of the ability to disappoint the fans, and if something is missing from Resident Evil 4, people are gonna flip their shit. People got very angry at Resident Evil 3 remake because there were certain elements missing from the original, because a lot of stuff was cut due to time restraints. And it was originally supposed to be DLC to Resident Evil 2 remake, but because it made so much money, they decided to make a separate game.
Right.
And it was super short, and they charged full price for it. So a lot of people were angry, and because of that, it brought the attention to the fact that, oh, hey, look, they could really fuck up Resident Evil 4. Because they cut out larger scenes, like there's a clock tower. That's like a big part of the game. It's like 1/3 of the game of Resident Evil 3, the original. There is a castle in Resident Evil 4. Imagine what's going to happen if they cut that part of the game out. How many angry people are going to be? Like, they have... Resident Evil 4 is considered to be one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
They could just do anything, and people are going to be pissed off. It's going to be so easy.
People were pissed off when they lightly changed what's it called? Resident Evil 4 just for VR. Because like they made a couple changes to the dialogue to make it less like kind of innuendo-y jokey. Which I'm like, whatever.
Oh,
like,
was it with what's her name? The president's daughter?
So
Ashley?
I think Leon's the main character in 4, right?
Yep.
He makes a flirty joke with his handler secretary, like the
Hunnigan?
woman who like calls him. Yeah, he makes a couple jokes with her, and he makes a couple jokes with Ashley.
They flirt
and
at the end.
They took those out of 4, the VR version,
which is funny.
Yeah,
because Ashley she asks Leon. She like propositions him, and he's like, no. Pretty much, no, sorry. And,
he's saving himself for Chris Redfield. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. That's why their moment in Resident Evil 6 is so intense. So,
bro action. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. People get so mad about that stuff, and it's like they slightly updated it. If you want, you just go back and play the originals. Like they're still available. You can still buy them.
Yeah, the Steam version's in HD. So let's see. They also had Layers of Fear, Marvel Midnight Suns, Gotham Knights. No, they don't. They're getting shitty movies. Casey Jones was announced for Shredder's Revenge, which actually looks like it's going to be really fun, as long as it has rollback.
Yeah, that's that Ninja Turtles beat 'em up.
Otherwise, I'm not going to buy it. Saints Row, Boss Factory, custom characters, Cuphead is getting more DLC.
The last DLC.
Yep. The stylish card-based shooter, Neon White, gets a release date. Humankind coming to consoles, but Jesus Christ, there's a lot of stuff. Flash 2. Never even heard of that. Witchfire. Let's see.
Yeah, no, there were like a million things announced.
There is.
I think like obviously we should cover the highlights, but it's been all week like that. Like they literally, I think, what did they just announce today? Oh yeah, Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's getting a sequel and a release date, I think, this year. Hollow Knight Silk Song, which people have been waiting for.
Is that a DLC or sequel to Hollow Knight?
It is a sequel to the first Hollow Knight, yeah.
Okay.
But people have been waiting on it for like two plus years.
That game's hard.
Yes, it is, but it's fun.
It's a good game. So let's pick a few things to talk about, and then we can move on. So what do you guys think about Last of Us being remade for a second time in the past 10 years?
Did they remake Last of Us already? I thought
this is a remake after the remake that they made for the PS4. This is another remake.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm so confused. Wait, what? They remade it for the PS4? I forget how old this game is.
They had Last of Us on PS3, right?
Oh,
that's the original. And then they remade it. They remade it on PS4. And now now they're remaking it again for PS5 and PC.
Yeah.
People are angry.
Game companies are the worst, bro. Triple dipping.
They're triple dipping, and they're angry that they're investing money in something that doesn't need to be remade.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, graphics updates are nice, but that better come with only a graphics update price. Like that better be $30 or less.
It's going to be full price, my man.
Yeah, I think they it was like somebody looked at it on a website. I think it's full price.
It's gonna be full price.
Then no, absolutely not. That was ridiculous. Yeah, it's not worth it unless it's an actual remake with like a bunch of new shit that it didn't have.
Well, that's the thing is the Last of Us multiplayer game. The Last of Us, this new Last of Us remake is going to have a multiplayer game that has a story that is as big as other Naughty Dog games. So it's going to have like a huge expansion with it. I don't.
I believe it when I see it. I can't judge it till it's out. But unless it's like a full co-op mode game, then
it's a co-op multiplayer game that's going to be an expansion on the Last of Us world. Like it does whatever. Anyway, it's weird.
I don't know.
It's a weird choice.
It is weird. It's good cross promotion with the show though, because the show's coming down on HBO pretty soon. They wrap.
That's essentially they're putting all their eggs in one basket.
Yep.
And I don't know. I don't know why. I don't really think that The Last of Us is already a movie in itself. So
it is a movie. It is a movie game.
I don't know. I don't think Pedro Pascal. I don't know.
It is the closest a game can get to a movie without being a walking simulator.
Speaking of, good gaming soundtracks, I think The Last of Us has a good one too.
I would agree with that.
I
just don't want to pay full price for it. But I mean, if it's got good content, it's got good content. It's crazy that it's the third remake, but whatever.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of angry posts on Twitter about it.
Gamers are going to be angry, so
that's just what they do, man. Was there anything else that specifically popped out to anyone? I mean, I know I saw the Shredder's Revenge, which all I really have to say about that is it's cool that they're adding 6-player mode and more playable characters. Because I haven't seen a beat 'em up try to do 6-player mode in forever. But again, the online is really going to be the defining factor of this game, whether it's worth buying or not. And I hate to say that, but imagine playing a beat 'em up with terrible online.
Yep.
Like Scott Pilgrim versus the World is unplayable with your friends during the pandemic because it has terrible online. Like you might as well play the PS3 version at that point.
Let's see. The games I was excited for on this list were games I already knew about. I didn't really invest much time into looking at the stuff I didn't already know about. So I guess maybe I need to go through and check it out. The one new thing I did hear about was Metal Hellsinger, which sounds kind of cool. It's basically a more metal version of kind of BPM, which is basically like a rhythm-based first-person shooter where you get more damage based on whether or not if you shoot on the beat. There's a bunch of really famous metal bands doing music for it, and that sounds really cool. I'd definitely check it out. I just like rhythm games combined with other genres. I think that's a super fucking cool idea. And I think that could be really fun. It's basically like rhythm. It's like Doom Eternal if the music also had a gameplay mechanic. Which sounds really sick. And then of course, I think what else? Neon White looked cool. That looks like a unique first-person shooter. Saints Row is always fun. Even if the new ones probably don't have as good story as the first ones, because the story in the first ones are just amazing. They're so silly and over the top. It'll probably be fun.
Let's just skip straight to Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, Marvel Midnight Suns. That was the last thing I wanted to say. It looks fun. If you like XCOM, you'll probably like this because it's Marvel XCOM.
So, Josh, are you a Street Fighter fan?
Not particularly, but I did see the trailer for the Street Fighter 6. I was a fan of it. We talked about it on the show. I think I love the look of it. I was seeing also some people, Maximilian, as he played the game, he had early access to it. I was watching him try out the game. It looks pretty good. I like some of the, looks of the different characters. Ken's got the, my wife took my kids look. That's pretty good.
Divorced. He do be looking mad divorced though.
Guile, he got presented. He's got the, let me tell you why you should stand for the national anthem look, which is nice with the goatee.
Definitely big Buzz Aldrin punching that moon landing denier in the face, energy.
Yeah. So So I like a lot of the look of what's going on there. And so I would definitely, I'm interested to get Street Fighter 6. I'm definitely interested in it.
What do you guys think about the look of the game itself? I think it looks like pretty close to MK10, right now. I but I'll take it. It's Capcom. Like, what are you gonna do?
Graphic wise,
yeah, graphics wise, what do you think?
I liked it. I liked the basic style. I think it's been needed in the Street Fighter games for a while, so I'm happy with it. I just hope the battle system is fun. I mean, that's what kind of killed SF5 for me as someone who's played a lot of it. Is I didn't really vibe with the battle system. They updated it and kept updating it, and it's better now. I think it's in its best possible state, but I bounced off it long before it got there.
Right.
I think it looks pretty vibrant. It looks pretty vibrant. Looks pretty colorful. So I guess with the main guy they're pushing now in the Street Fighter universe is what, Luke? Is that the main person they're pushing now?
Yeah. He did not wear shoes, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess what's his whole thing? He's like the surfer guy, or
he's an MMA fighter.
Okay. Oh, well, that makes sense. MMA is big right now, so that makes sense. Is Fei Long supposed to be in this, or is they're still on the fence? Or?
They're still on the fence, and people were talking about how Fei Long, like the one guy had a hot take of saying Fei Long is never going to be in another Street Fighter, which means that he's probably going to be in another Street Fighter. Like, he just increased the chances of him existing.
A dude literally ended his own career over it. I think he was a music developer for Capcom or something like that. And he's just like, yeah, I can't see them putting Fei Long in another game. And then, like, within literally, I think, a couple of hours, Capcom was like, we're never working with this guy again. He doesn't speak for us. And then the Bruce Lee estate put out the same tweet. And it's like, damn, okay. Like, this wasn't worth losing your career over. But yeah, I mean, Fei Long will probably be back. He just wasn't in the leaked roster. So if he comes back, he'll probably be DLC. But we don't know.
So I'm sure you guys saw, like you said, you saw the Guile trailer. There's a few things that I actually wanted to point out about the Guile trailer. First of all, no Guile theme. What the fuck's up with that? He is a new voice actor. Looks like Guile can cancel off of his heavy sweeps again. Which hasn't been a thing since Street Fighter 2. He has longer. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, he has longer range pokes. Like, he has a front kick now. He's got target combos, more target combos than he did in the other game. And he has his V skill and V trigger from Street Fighter 5. Yep. He also, in the trailer, he cancels. He shows. Okay, so remember Street Fighter 4? How, like, a lot of people didn't like focus attacks and how, like, people thought they were problematic. Well, guess what the parry does? The universal parry system. It takes care of the fact of FADCs. So people can stuff the attempt of a focus attack in neutral. Which makes it interesting because he parries the focus attack and then he alpha counters, or does some kind of an alpha counter, which, puts him in a stun state, and he's able to capitalize off of it. Looks like it uses all kinds of resources, but still, it's pretty impressive that they had, like, it's kind of genius. Like, this seems like it's the perfected formula of Street Fighter 5 and 4, which I love. I love that.
It seems like it's like a combo of 3, 4, and 5 and a little of the earlier games. Honestly, and I was kind of waiting for them to do that because, like, they have so many games now with so many different mechanics. I was wondering if they'd make a super game that kind of has, like, parts of all of them. And this looks like that's what they're doing. So I'm really interested to play it and see what it feels like. I'm just sad I have to wait till, like, next year. But I will.
I mean, sure, we'll get the beta. Also, I noticed that Guile also has 2 different colored flash kicks now, and I don't know if that is a sign of intensity or what. But I'm sure we'll find that out. Did anybody happen to see the facial feature trailer? Essentially, they have like a Soul Calibur 2, if you Soul Calibur 2, where at the beginning of a match you can have them say or say something to each other while they're
Yeah.
So in Street Fighter 6, they're gonna have it so like you can make people make faces at each other before the match starts.
It looks pretty funny. Yeah.
So people have been memeing about it. It's pretty dope. It's gonna be an interesting thing. Hopefully like we get some Banana Ken type memes off of this. I'm sure there's gonna be something. And then lastly, we have the real time commentator feature where people who are like esports commentators are going to be giving their voice about situations and things that are going to be happening during matches, and basically it's going to be really cool. And I guess one of my questions is, and I'm sure this is more specifically for August, but who do you want to see added to commentary in this game?
A good question. So, like, I was wondering if they were thinking about doing that, because first of all, I'd love it. It's a good way to basically come up with a free idea for DLC if you have DLC voice commentator packs.
Yep.
So if they go through with that idea, I think it's great. Problem is again, this whether or not people like this or hate this is all going to depend on how it's implemented. If you're hearing the same phrases or words or sayings like multiple times per match or like really soon in rotation through multiple matches, it's gonna get old real quick. So like I hope the script is real deep with like depth and doesn't have the same algorithms repeating the same things over and over again, because that's gonna get old so fast and a lot of people are just gonna turn it off. And I think it's a really great idea for a feature to make it feel like you're playing in an actual tournament. I just think it like whether or not people like this or absolutely hate this is all going to depend on like how often you hear the same thing over and over again.
I would be shocked to see if Maximilian Dude was not a commentator. I'll tell you what, I think that Yatagarasu is like one of the first games to actually do this. I mean, it wasn't very good, but it had like the problem that you were talking about where things became repetitive over time. But that also had Maximilian Dude. I want to see James Chen. I want to see IFC Yipes. I want to see like Ultra David.
Love to see Yipes.
Yeah.
CGM Tasty Steve. Yeah. I
Tasty Steve, Tasty Steve. Yeah.
FGC culture. There's a lot of people that you're like, oh man, like I'd love to have them as a commentator.
Daigo.
Daigo, yeah, on the Japanese side, there's a bunch of people they would love to have as guest commentators. So I really hope they do that. I feel bad because I was on the thread for it and people were like asking for other commentators or complaining, and I'm like, yo, how about we have some like praise for Vicious, like Jeremy Lopez. Like, I mean, he had to work really hard to get this spot over other people. And I mean, stay consistent with it. And yes, maybe there are better commentators out there, but he's a good commentator. So, I mean, I'm just happy for him. I like this idea. I just hope it's well executed. That's all.
Yeah, man.
Punk would be good.
Punk.
If he can commentate,
I don't think he can commentate the way you think, like the way you want him to commentate. Because
I don't think they're gonna comment. I don't think he can commentate in a way where he wouldn't immediately get himself canceled for saying some dumb shit.
Or like even IFC Yipes. Like I think the IFC Yipes we would get is like a tame version of that, which is like it's not the version I want to see. I want to see
some
like
of those run a bit close to the line of getting themselves canceled. Like we would never see Z. Yeah, I love Z. He's my favorite fucking commentator.
Yeah, Z's great.
That's because he's just constantly shitting on people and memeing. So I mean,
he's like one of the he's super clever when it comes to.
He's funny as fuck.
Comedic timing,
He's one of the funniest people in.
Oh, you know who I want to see? I want to see Sci-Pi.
Yeah, Pi would be good. Any of the Ultra Chen dudes. Ultra Chen. Any of the
Next Level.
What's it called? Yeah, Next Level. Any of the NLBC guys. Yeah. Henry Sen was even funny.
I want to hear him say two-piece no biscuit.
Yeah.
That's really all I want, and I can die happy. So with that, we should start closing out here. and I'm gonna do the thing. We're gonna talk about. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the L of the week. So, I kind of added two things into here. So the Chinese military. Let's see. Chinese military secrets leaked on a video game forum. I don't know if you guys saw this.
Yeah, I mean it's the same game that like every 6 months to a year, a new country gets their secret documents leaked on War Thunder. Because if there's one thing that nerds on the internet like doing, and we'll go over the line to do, it's to win an argument.
It's win an argument, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, military nerds are a special kind of crazy in that they just don't give a fuck. So yeah, fucking hilarious. This is the third major country it's happened to. After I think the first was the UK. Second was I think French tank plans, and now it's like a Chinese tank, and it's like, yeah, military nerds that are in the military have access to restricted documents, and who should know better, still can't help themselves. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, like you know they've taken their OPSET classes and they just didn't give a fuck. So I don't even know what to say. It's like one could make a joke that War Thunder has just been an elaborate like psyop to get people to reveal like document plans. Because I mean, how often has this happened now?
We'll get there, man.
But yeah, I don't know. It's what like you said you deployed as like a former military person. Like, what do you think about all this? Because this is just silly.
I mean, that person probably not going to see that person ever again. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's absolutely insane. You know, I mean, you know, but hey, I mean, yeah, he got the W in the argument, I guess. So
he did.
Hey, man, at the end of the day, you know, he can hold his head up high. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, while it falls on the ground, though, from that.
Yeah. While he's getting court-martialed to go to like Chinese jail or worse, he'd be like, "Listen, they were disrespecting our tanks. I had to set them straight." Okay.
I did it for us, man. I won the argument for the country.
So.
I'm just gonna give him a Medal of Honor. But yeah, they were saying that this is like the third. How many times has it happened? Like the third time.
It's happened in different country. Like not even just third time. It's in the same countries. Like 3 different countries this has happened to.
Right. It's just wild because I remember I was like, when you said this to me, I was like, wait, this is old news, isn't it? And it's like, no, it's just happening again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of wild. I like you said, I doubt we'll be seeing that guy will be seeing the light of day ever again. So you know, rip to that guy. I hope you things aren't as harsh as for you as we think it is.
This is like something like this is obviously going to get like crazy press. So it's like, why? Like, did you think no one would find this out? Like, unless like this is an even dumber like high level play and we're leaking fake documents. I just don't see the point. Don't see the point.
High level play.
Like, yeah.
So let's see, and I guess we move on. Seth Green pays $300,000 to recover his stolen Bored Ape Ethereum NFT. August, you want to take this one?
So, again, I have to pull up the article real quick, but it's like this goes a level deeper than just another dumb NFT story. Because yes, NFTs are stupid. I think most people think that, and if you don't think that, bruh.
Right.
Come on. It's a digital image that can be copied by anyone. Like whether or not there's a blockchain ledger record of you buying it doesn't matter. No one cares.
The blockchain though.
Put the blockchain though. Crypto bros, bruh. They're a special breed. But no, so he got his NFT stolen. But more importantly than that, it was that this was an NFT he was using to basically base a TV show on. Like he was making a TV show to do something with this NFT. And the fact that it got stolen meant he couldn't make the TV show. So like literally he had to buy this NFT back, but just to be able to use it, I guess, on the show, legally or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what the whole point is, but yeah, I mean, it screwed him in like more than 2 ways, and it's like, why even do this? Like, why NFTs are dumb. Why make a show about NFTs? But even further, the fact that this got stolen and he had to pay a ransom for his own NFT so he could film a TV show. Like, this is like the perfect confluence of just like modern age like tech stupidity in terms of like why is this story had multiple levels of like in 2022 things are just dumb.
So was
like yeah, what were you
I
saying?
mean, oh, just because Seth Green, I mean, he did Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken's a funny show, and Robot Chicken satirized a bunch of stuff. I mean, was he going to satirize the whole NFT thing, and or was it?
He might have. Like, it's kind of a funny story because like I don't know if the show was going to make fun of NFTs or whether or not it was going to be pro NFT or it was going to be kind of in the middle, showing both sides.
I
But
think
essentially, yeah, I assume it was supposed to be a comedies that was related to NFTs. And the fact that he got it stolen and had to buy it back just so he could make the show. Like I think there's a quote here. This is like licensing rules applied to the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT series state that while Yuga Labs, the creators of the collection, owns the copyright to the brand, the company gives the individual owner of the NFT a broad license to use the images they own, including an unlimited worldwide license to use, copy, and display purchased art. So owners of the NFT have already used the license right to create Bored Ape brand content. So yeah, I mean, essentially, I think you have to technically own the NFT, which just means possession of it, to use it in other things. So because it got stolen from him, he had to get it back if he wanted to use it in his show.
Yeah.
And again, it kind of the whole concept kind of parodies like in and of itself the dumb copyright laws we have on the books now. That okay, you were just going to transfer ownership, even if this thing was documented stolen from me, it doesn't automatically transfer back. I have to go buy it back from the person who stole it from me. Like that,
which
that's a
is
whole new level of silly.
essentially the argument everybody brings up when someone talks about NFTs and like owning and selling NFTs. Like literally any Gary Vee interview is like him getting pissed off at people asking him the same question. Yeah, but like I could take a picture of it. Does that mean that I own it? And then, you know, whatever, so on and so forth. And then here we are, somebody getting their NFT stolen, you know, just like how people were talking about not too long ago, or still talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think the whole thing's dumb.
Oh yeah, I always love it when like I don't know if you've ever seen it, but dudes on Twitter get they say their ape got stolen, and then somebody will say like, "Hey, DM me, I know details," and it's just copy and paste of their profile picture, and they send it to them in the DMs. That's always great. Yeah, that always has me. And then I remember when Keanu Reeves, I think somebody asked him about it when he's doing press for the new Matrix movie. And then they would talk to him about NFTs, and he just says, "Well, so wait, you don't even own it, and it's something that could be copied." And they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, I guess." And then he just started busting out laughing. I mean, we got Keanu Reeves fucking laughing at you. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, I remember seeing that clip as well, and I laughed so hard because Keanu got the inherent stupidity of like, yeah, but it's a digital image, you can just copy it. Like, there's nothing stopping you from making your own copy of it. So like, while it's not the original, who cares?
Right.
But yeah, it's like this was this was kind of one of the perfect examples of like all the stupidities of NFTs because like not only did this get stolen from a however like supposedly semi-secure system, but the fact that it got stolen and the rights were stolen means that the rights didn't even revert back to the original owner. Like the rights were stolen too, so he had to pay to get the rights back to a digital image just so he could use it in his show. And it was like at any time this could have just been copy pasted, but he needed the actual copyright rights that were stolen to use it in his show.
It doesn't make any sense. It seems like a roundabout way of doing things.
Yeah.
Yo, Afternoon Tune, aka Josh.
But
where can people find you?
So we're everywhere. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/afternoon. You can find us there. We're usually streaming every Friday, every Saturday. This upcoming weeks, won't be doing the show. Got some busy stuff I got to be doing. But we're going to be coming back, reviewing Lightyear, reviewing Black Phone, Elvis. We're going to be doing reviews on that. Also doing some video game streams. Like I said, usually come in usually do the weekdays, do some video game streams, trying to get more consistent with that, playing some maybe RE2 remake, playing some Knockout City, playing some Roller Champions. That's a new game I'm just getting into. Also, you can check us out on YouTube, youtube.com, The Afternoon Tune. Type that in, and you'll find us as well. Reviews are uploaded there, everything like that, clips of the show. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all Afternoon Tune. You can find us all there. We are wherever you listen to podcasts. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, anything like that. Just go Afternoon Tune, and we'll be there as well. So yeah.
Wow. Damn, dude, you spit fired that entire thing. I'm super impressed.
That was quick. That's practice right there.
You're now the gold standard for for promoting yourself. Yo, August, where can people find you, dude?
Same place, same back time, same back channel. The Backlog Podcast. Eventually I'll set up some of my own stuff, but I mean it's far too easy just to have you do everything. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, yeah, I mean, for right now, I really enjoy just working on this podcast, finding content for us, finding stuff for us to talk about. Eventually, like we kind of mentioned this podcast, I love to do some game streams, whether that's like co-oping, some like, super massive, super giant game stuff, like the Corey, or the Dark Picture stuff, or, just any other beat 'em ups. Like I'd love to play Shredder's Revenge when that comes out with you.
Oh yeah.
But for now, I mean, yeah, just doing the Backlog Podcast.
All right. So you can find us on Twitch, Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on, well, of course, Twitch. We're on wherever you can find podcasts. We have YouTube. Basically, all the Backlog. And with that, guys, that has been the Backlog Podcast number 22 with Afternoon Tune. And we hope to see you guys soon. Peace out, y'all.